My water tastes funny. I think I've been poisoned. I just drank some poison. It's no good. How we doing? Good. Put HRT in my water? Oh shit. The CIA broke into my house and put HRT in my drinking water. I'm intruding! Ah! Use my... There it is. Oh, I got a vape. You know how it is, Chad. Carl needs nicotine. What are we gonna do? We gonna play Yakuza? Maybe play a different game? Watch videos? No, I don't really have any videos to watch, to be honest. Getting a little YouTubed out. Doing it so much recently. Then Yakuza Zomboid. My Zomboid save is a little bit fucked at the moment. If I leave my base... Okay, I have too much shit on the floor in my base. So, when I leave my base and I come back to it, my game crashes. So yeah. My save's a little fucked. I have to build some boxes and stuff away, as I can't really play the game. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? What if furries stopped gooning? What the fuck is this? Dude, furries. That you dude, furries are never gonna stop gooning. Yeah, you're shooting for the stars here, kid.
If you've been in the furry community for a bit, you would know that there are a lot of gooners. But not all of them are bad. Some are different than others. You see, you got that average chud that just be pumping one out here and there. You know, nothing too crazy, nothing too special. But on the other end of the stick, you get
Just literally a black guy. Who sent me this? Mog? Why are you sending me black furries talking about chuds and gooning? What are you doing? What do you watch in your free time, Mog?
fucking losers like this guy who keeps spam messaging people weird ass shit. Stay with me now. Now listen, I've interacted with tons of furries. I'm a furry myself. I have a fursuit. I've been to furry cons and stuff like that. I understand, bro. I know what people are like and shit like that. But man, being in this community made me realize,
shit, man.
Wow. There's so many gooners. They're everywhere. They're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram.
You white boy be acting crazy.
They're on every single platform. Okay, let me show you something real quick. So look at this, bro. We got a fursuiter here. Aw, cute fursuit. Look at them doing their little dance. Like, aw, so cute, right? But then, like, bro, the first comment that I saw, dude, if y'all don't have a brain, that is a condom, bro. Now, am I surprised that it was a boy kisser fur?
I just want to, like, take a hacksaw.
Bro, these motherfuckers have been...
Just want to take a hacksaw and go at the neck. Just start chopping, you know? Just start sawing my way through.
Bro, these motherfuckers have been known to do this shit. If y'all watch my last 2 videos based on these furries, bro, it's so common.
Oh
if you're a boy kisser fur and you took offense to those videos, I just want to let you know I fucking hate you. Don't shake my hand in public. Megaplex just announced they're getting rid of the musky armpit. Alright, I'm gonna just stop it right there. Like, bro, the amount of goon slop that actually gets popular is insane. Like, imagine if I just started doing goon slop. You mean to tell me that all I need to do to get popular is just put on my fursuit and just start shaking my butt on camera? Matter of fact, coach, I'm built for this shit. Let me in. Sign me up. I am ready. I got the fursuit ready as
He's gonna be a fur shaker.
Speak. But don't be like this guy because he actually got caught out for being a pedophile. And for liking feral. So... yeah, but you'd find a lot of gooners in TikTok comment sections, like even if it's just furry art, and it's to the point where it's just genuinely embarrassing. Like, bro, aw, cute furry art.
So far, the only furries that he has shown as like an example to be made fun of are like white furries. Have you noticed that?
Look at the comments, bro. Furry porn, please. Wow. The comment below that one is just so much worse. I can't even make this shit up. It's literally a furry OC bent over showing its asshole. I'm not making this up. I also noticed like big furry YouTubers are starting to do gooner content. I think the biggest example of this has to be Max Fluffies, bro. I swear most of his content just talks about how he bottoms. Like, Max, shut the fuck up. See, look, I don't hate fun. Like, if you do videos like this here and there, I think it's fine. But, like, making it your whole personality is just so corny, bro. And I don't even want to talk about his YouTube thumbnails, dude. This guy puts cropped furry in his YouTube thumbnails and calls it a day. Like, bro, stop. I'm getting hard. Furry memes that will pull your leash. Who's a good boy? Wow. Like, this person is truly just a special human being. Matter of fact, no, you gotta think, like,
your
who the
guy.
fuck is watching this shit? I'm actually curious to see what the comment section looks
These
like.
are your
I wear
people.
thigh highs while watching this.
Well,
Huh. No.
one of your people.
Okay, I was scrolling
right?
to the comment section, bro. Harley Pedigo just fucking
Probably,
busted in this dude's comment section.
Probably not calling out black.
Like, these
furries,
are
let's
actually
be-
special human beings that I'm looking at. At this point, am I supposed to hate the producer or the consumer? We are all cracking furry baddies in 2026. Can I Woo! Like, you gotta think about it. Like, some of these people are grown-ass men in the comment section. Femi,
It's all like the
shampoo
blackest
shooter.
memes
I'm
you
a
can
cutie
think of,
patootie.
and then once again, it's literally only like white furry gooners he's showing as an example. This is
Gooning account.
this is
What the fuck are they doing? Like, it's actually getting to the point where other furries are posting
they're trying to push white people out of the furry community. Is what it comes up. The blacks have had enough of the white furries.
Like, to all the
There's a
other
race
furries that are
war going
watching
on
this
in
video,
the
don't
furry
be doing
community.
stupid shit like this and then wonder, wow, why do people hate furries so much? Like, guys, it's such a big problem and it's so obvious, but you guys aren't doing shit about it. Now, I'm not trying to pull a Minions Never Goon type deal, but y'all, 99% of the time, this is why furries are hated on so much. Cause y'all can't keep your dick in your pants. Don't even get me started on VR chat furries. Hold on, bro. Wait, do I even want to talk about them in this video?
So it's a furry, like, just kind of saying the quiet part out loud, because you know how, like, when you'll talk to these people, they're like, it's not about sex, okay? It's really not. No, only a couple of us are, like, into, only a small percentage of them is into it for sex, and here he is, like, making a video specifically for, like, the furry community, right? Like, he's a fur fag addressing the fur community. Oh. Addressing the shelter. About how there's too much gooning going on. So yeah, these people are just straight up fucking liars. Don't ever listen to them when they say this shit when they try to like play it off.
If you really want to try to find the true freaks, VR chat is where it's at. I mean, like, we got strip clubs in VR chat. We got furries pissing on each other in VR chat. Whatever it is, you name it. But it just unleashes a new breed of content creators. VR chat content creators.
You know what sound I really love? The little whimper you make when I grab you by the balls.
Oh!
The little whip he makes. Oh, dude. That's fucking foul.
What the fuck? Okay, wait. No.
And you know what? You know what? I bet you he does that to his dog too, right? Because then it's even more real. The whimper's even more real. So you know this fucking disgusting piece of shit is doing that to his dog.
Has to be satire, bro. Like, he can't be older than 20 doing this for fun, right? 36? 36? Spitting and sitting on it might solve all your problems. Wow. Like, I'm actually speechless, bro.
Baby, look at me. Baby, look at me. I love you. You're gonna make me cry. You're gonna make me cry. Please don't. Look at me. Look at me, please. I love you.
I'm not even gonna lie, like, this isn't even as bad as the other things that I talked about in this video, but it's still just like, what are we doing, bro? Like, think about it. Like, these two right here.
36? Well, mental illness doesn't
It's actually so ugly. This shit is actually so corny.
You could be old as fuck. You'd still be mentally ill.
I can't really talk, dude. Like, I know a lot of Robloxians are also freaked out. Okay, I don't even think I can show this on YouTube,
the more mentally
but
ill
it's
you become.
two Robloxian furries with the biggest badonkers known to man. And like, the saddest thing about this is that the people are actually getting like turned on about this, bro. Like, guys, lock in. This ain't even something worth gooning for. Discord furries are even more embarrassing as well.
The furries
like, if you're a furry on Discord, that's fine. I'm talking about the furries that genuinely dedicate their lives and soul on Discord.
Bro, this is why you join the fucking community.
Like, there's so many examples of these in
how did
furry
you not
Discord
know
servers,
this going
especially.
in?
I mean, this person owns this Discord server and they make their server 13+, but they own an 18+ Patreon, and they post like this in the server too. Like, I I really
Of
don't
course they do.
understand it.
What
There's
the
a
fuck do
time
you
and place,
expect?
man. You know what I mean? I was looking through some other Discord servers too, and I came across a server named Fluffy Central. By the way, if you're a new furry, please do not click on any servers that have their icon as
Why not just call it a new fur? What the fuck is wrong with these people?
this, because I promise you 99% of the time it's always going to be problematic.
What
The first
fuck?
thing I noticed in this server is that they don't even have a rule where the server has to be 13 plus. Now this will be a problem in a bit. Let me
Locked
explain
in the
why.
prison.
It's
I think
even
you mean a
riskier when you
cage.
have
Locked in
people
a
like this
cage, right?
posting their thighs in this server, and they're minors too. By the way, I want to let you know, if you do shit like this, you're fucking gross. Like, the members there are also just weird as fuck. Genuinely, what did I expect from a server that has
He's
the
the
boy
one
kisser
good
as
furry,
their
chat.
icon? Also, the members there are just corny
He
as
wants
hell.
you to believe he's the one good one. I
Like,
don't
bro,
know about
nobody
that.
types like this. Letting people
Brother.
post their thighs in the server is such a big problem when people are
It's what they
41
do,
years
man.
old
It's
roaming
just
around
what
the
they
server.
do. They're
I also came across this
degens.
server named Totally Not a Weird
They're
Server,
degens,
and
brother.
it said, welcome
What do you
to
expect?
this cute little femboy server. This is a server for people all ages. Like, I can already tell there's gonna be some Diddy blood activity going on in the server. Upon stepping in, you're forced to tell your age, which obviously is okay, but what isn't okay is that they let people from the ages of below 13 to above 22 interact in the server. And obviously they're femboys, so that, you know, they're gooners. They're gonna post their thighs in the server and shit just for the fucking attention. By the way, this person
You're
is
lucky if all they post is their fucking thighs. You're lucky.
14 to 16 years
This guy's pronoun is toilet.
old, and the other dude in this picture
Oh
is
my
18.
God.
Do you guys see the
Yeah, go
problem
hang out
now?
with
Like,
these
bro,
guys,
y'all got
kids.
people up to 13 posting themselves in the server too. But again, like, genuinely, what
Sam's hanging out with toilet. With the self-described toilet. I love
like,
it. That's-
genuinely,
that's
what did I
fucking
expect?
great,
Because they
dude.
got a boy kisser in their banner. If there's one thing that you could take from this video, y'all gotta stop getting so comfortable on the internet. Y'all gotta go outside once in a while, go interact and socialize here and there. I know this shit doesn't happen just in the furry community. It obviously happens in other communities as well. And before y'all start calling me sensitive in my own comment section, just know, like, you are 100% the problem. There's so many reasons why the furry community is hated, and this is like top tier reasons why. It's because it just gets way too sexual. Of course, I can't really tell everybody to stop doing this shit because, you know, a lot of people just won't listen. But I hope y'all take into consideration of what I'm really talking about here. But that's
Yeah,
it for the
player.
video, guys. Sorry for this little rant
Hey,
video.
yo,
Make sure y'all
listen
join the
up real
memberships
quick,
to get
huh?
early access to future videos
This
and
nigga's
also
speaking
updates on where
true.
I'm at.
Damn. Congratulations. Oh, my lord, brother, it makes me vomit. It makes me ill knowing that this man is being paid to be a furry. Ever go the Discord? How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet that that is not what happens? How about I guarantee you that they are never gooning in this Discord. I'm promising you they do not have a fucking Rule 64 channel. Okay, they do not have one. Oh no, Rule 34. 64 is the gender bend one, right? Yeah, Rule 34 channel Discord. Okay. Disgusting. Let's see. YouTuber recorded herself peeing on stream. Oh boy.
I know you want to hear me pee so bad. Here is it. My pee, just for you.
Oh wait, we know this one. We've seen this one. This is like the French rat. Wait, this was one of the ones that Winston likes, isn't it? Hold up. Is this one of the ones that Ikasu Miku told me about, where they're like a degenerate, or isn't this one of Winston's like Oshi's? God damn, that's loud.
I love you so heavy. I know you want to hear me pee so bad. Here is it. My pee, just for you.
Fuck. And this is posted on main. And it's posted on main. Oh my god. Yo, I hate what you people say. I hate it. I hate it so much. What's the point of that? You tell me what the point of that is. I've seen Shim Knob Nord's Real Game Awards. Seen it. Themselves not real, idiot. Okay, we can probably watch that. What else we got? The Tail song. Yeah, no, I don't want to listen to that. That just sounds like that sounds like Brimstone. I'm alright.
At the end of every millennium, all of the greatest scholars of the current generation gather around to ask the most thought-provoking question. Are women that don't have sex real?
Wait, we've seen this. I've heard that accent say that line.
You know, the commonly used
Yeah. We've seen this. I remember this. I don't remember exactly what he says, but I've seen it. We can't watch that. It's not authentic. It's not authentic, even if I don't remember. Oh, let's see. Well, you can't find anything good to watch on. Okay. Say if that's. I mean, I kind of agree.
If I told you the reason you get recommended like 20 nearly identical videos after you watch just one on the subject is also the reason that you can seldom find a video that isn't wholesale, all or nothing about any given subject, you might think that I'm crazy. But I am quite literally always right. But first, we're gonna have to go all the way back. Does that sound familiar? The reason so many videos start like that is because ever since YouTube shifted toward favoring average view duration, the easiest way to succeed is to make a video that keeps the viewer watching for as long as possible. It's one of those things where, on paper, it seems like that would be a great way to filter videos by quality. I don't think that's what's actually happening, though. If you really want to make yourself
I
sick,
imagine it's
go
not
look at
based on percentage watch. It's based on total watch time, right? So if you have a 10-minute video, even if people watch the entire way through, all it takes is one autistic man to watch a 50-minute video, and that video goes crazy. That video has more presence in the algorithm. That's why all the videos are long now. Like, super long.
retention gurus say about how you should
long,
bury the
and
lead
they
of
don't
your
say
video
anything.
and basically just completely waste the viewer's time to maximize your average view duration. And
Yes, exactly.
as a consequence, your views. The worst part is
Yep.
that it works. It works really well, actually. It's especially funny to me coming from watching mostly videos about literature because YouTube basically directly punishes you for having the ability to write well. If you get straight to the point, are clear and concise, and don't waste the viewer's time, well, that's less time that the viewer is going to spend watching ads while they wait for you to finally get to the damn point, which makes YouTube less money. So your well-written video better move over for the 9-hour-long video game retrospective written at the 6th grade level. That is actually, secretly, just a plot summary. That right there is a money printing machine. One ad every 4 minutes for 9 hours? Jesus. It's the same reason why most videos you watch, the dude just repeats the same 4 or 5 points over and over and over again for half an hour while occasionally introducing a new observation. It keeps the average view duration
and then
up.
people
So
like are
YouTube is
shocked.
way more like
People are shocked that I don't keep up with like any. I don't really watch video gaming content anymore because that's really all it is. In fact, it's not just video games either. Like this is it's an example, but this is true for like a lot of stuff. It's true for news channels now, people that cover the news. It's true for just like documentary channels. You know what I mean? When you go to try to learn about an event or something and they'll spend like 10 minutes on every little thing that's ever happened to this guy, no matter how inconsequential it is. They start literally at the beginning being the beginning of his life, the moment he came out of the womb, what his first breath was like. You know what I'm saying?
to recommend it. Realistically speaking, you're not making any money off of a 5-minute tightly written and edited video without a sponsor. And even then, you will make less off of the sponsor than you would if you just chose to slut it out. It's not something that's viable unless you're an old, well-established channel who's running off of brand recognition alone. Back when things were driven by click-through, as in how many people click on a video when the title or thumbnail is shown to them, videos that didn't pull out all the stops to milk every last second of view duration out of you had a way better shot at surviving. But then you have the issue of rampant clickbait
interest
so
in
that's not
watching
the
that
solution
EDP
either. I
documentary.
think this is a bit like,
I
you know, when
guarantee you it's
Kanye's
gonna
trying
be
to
the
kill all
same
the
way, too.
sparrows. It's like, great job, you got rid of all the birds, but what happened to all the food? YouTube fixed clickbait and made the advertisers happier, but it completely fucked up the way that videos are actually served to the viewer, which is, you know, the entire point of the website. YouTubers will seldom admit it, but doing YouTube professionally is not the business of making good videos, it is the business of creating impressions for ads. One way to create those impressions is to make good videos, but it is certainly not the easiest, most popular, nor the most certain way to do so, not by a long shot. I really didn't notice this properly until recently because, like I said, most of the videos I watch on YouTube are about literature, which isn't exactly a contentious subject matter. But these last several weeks, I've started to watch some gaming videos, which is something I almost never do these days, despite the fact that I make them. I started to notice that most of what I was seeing was, I don't really know how to say this other than dishonest as fuck. Any game I look up, the results are all the same. It's an almost even split. Either it's a 40-minute video of some nasal dude with a cartoon avatar of himself in the corner, doing what I like to call the false reverence voice. You know the one. Where they're like, it's so good, it's just so good. Well, they just sort of list off the game's features like they're reading the back of the box. And I can't fucking stand that. It's
In
like,
the
what the
other
hell, man?
extreme.
40 minutes of this little fucking guy with the card glazing the hell out of something in a way that is totally unreasonable. You'd almost think, okay, they're just getting paid to advertise the game. But that can't be it. Because their channel will have like 80 videos on it, with loads of views, about every major game that came out in the last 5 years that are pretty much the exact same thing. There's no way these people are actually getting paid to promote all of these games. Like, from the very beginning of their channel. It makes no sense. That, or it'll be some obnoxious, super
Well,
distorted
they're
thumbnail
called
like the one
industry plants, right? Like they're industry plants.
that I used for this video, crafted with liberal use of Photoshop's
So it does
Liquify
happen.
tool and red and white text that says something like, this game hates you and
Ooh!
wants you to die.
Ooh, someone specifically is getting called out right here. Peeb is not a fan of Lord Frogmire, apparently.
Or gaming is dead. And it's 40 or so minutes of some nasal dude talking about how the game is a direct, targeted insult to you and your intelligence, and everything about this game blows, and you should take up arms right now and stand against this affront to what is true and right, which I feel like I remember this being said for like the last 10 years, and nothing has changed. Then you look at the dude's channel and they've got like 80 videos with a decent amount of views about every single major game that has come out in the last 5 years that are pretty much the exact same thing. The common thread between these two is that they spend a relatively small amount of the video actually making interesting points about the game. It's mostly just reusing the same several adjectives for its entire runtime. The videos rely on the fact that you are going to just nod your head in agreement the whole time, pretty much the same way the older generations watch cable news. It's not meant to be
Well, I think that's
actively watched. It's meant
That is because of ego, all right? People have gotten... If you don't just, like, kind of nod along with people, they get upset and they, like, block you and they ban you. That's just, like, an ego thing. It's the culture that, has arose, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the direct cause of it. Maybe it's because we were all locked in safe spaces for so long, right? Because people, like, had to interact in such small corners of the web. Like, even on Reddit, they were, like, putting up defenses to keep all negative, mean people out, right? If you were mean at all, you got banned. So even, like, lefties were forced into a safe space, even if they didn't want to be. More than likely, they wanted to. But we, who were actively getting banned off of every platform, we were forced as well to go into, like, these right-wing havens where pretty much everyone's just, like, they're going to agree with you, or if they disagree with you, it's, like, on a very minor, irrelevant, not important thing, right? So people aren't really used to people being, like, vitriolic mean to them anymore.
meant to be on in the background while you do something else, and you occasionally go, hell yeah, brother, or oh my god, I feel so heard, depending which side you're on. That observation right there is when it occurred to me. This is the business model. It's the same as burying the lead in your video. Both of those methods are the most effective way to make money given how YouTube recommends videos. Hating everything is a great strategy because the viewer knows what to expect from the get-go and will watch more of your video on average because the angle is clear from the title. They will click because they know what you're going to say and you are going to reinforce their opinion. It doesn't matter if your criticisms don't make any sense and you're just, blindly hating on something to get views. You'll attract an audience that enjoys dunking on things for the love of the game, which is pretty fun, I will admit. The people who don't agree with you won't even click on the video, so your average view duration will be comparatively high. The same goes for blindly supporting something. You know you're going to attract a dedicated audience off of the fandom or whatever it is that is your channel's, let's just call it, special interest. It doesn't matter if you get called a shill, because eventually those people will stop clicking, and the amount of like-minded fanboys you attract who will watch it all the way to
So,
the
like,
end
the
will more
question
than make up
is,
for it.
like,
The
how do
people who
we
would otherwise click
how do we
off
fix
immediately
this? And the
just don't
answer
click
is
at all.
we won't. We can't fix it because this is what makes YouTube the most amount of money. Obviously, their algorithm is adjusted to cater to whatever makes them more money, right? It's their own self-interest. So the quality of videos are not going to go up, and everyone that wants to be successful on the platform is going to have to conform to these styles of videos, right? Otherwise, your odds of having any traction whatsoever go through the fucking floor. You'll probably have better odds winning a scratch-off ticket, like for big money.
So again, your average view duration stays high. It's an average. The easiest way to keep it high is to eliminate the section of the audience that runs the risk of clicking off immediately and bringing it down. It's like infant mortality. It's not that people in the Middle Ages lived to be 40, it's that a lot of them died when they were born. This is interesting to me. Not infant mortality, but the YouTube thing. Because the way that YouTube works directly...
Well, 9 times out of 10, you just know the game's going to be shit, right? Because it's a modern fucking game. 9 times out of 10, if the game that's coming out sucks. You don't need to play it. You don't even need to hear anybody say anything about it. You don't even need to watch the fucking trailer. It came out. The people that made it are all like women's majors. Like they minored or majored in women's studies, African studies, shit like this. They're all weird liberal freaks who probably spend their free time doing weird polygamous orgies. Okay, these are not smart people. These are not people that have any light in them, no divine inspiration that you're ever going to find from these groups of people, and they're the ones that make all the games now. So 9 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10 out of every game release, it's total dog shit, not worth your time. Don't even look at it.
Urges you from being honest. If your title and thumbnail entice the viewer, but then you say something along the way that you honestly believe that one side or the other finds objectionable, your average view duration will suffer tremendously when that subset of the audience gets pissed and clicks off. Walk on the right side of the road, you're safe. Walk on the left side of the road, you're safe. Walk in the middle of the road.
I don't think that's true either. I don't think you'll get traction naturally if you make high quality content. I don't think people care about quality. If that was true, if everyone cared about quality, people would listen to classical music. You know what I mean? Like, they would read old classics and listen to classical music and watch old classic movies, but they don't. People don't do that. People watch what's new, and they watch what's popping up in front of them. So I think quality has, like, very little to do with it.
Centrist or whatever, which I absolutely am not. It's about the fact that you absolutely cannot break with any of the previously established narratives without hurting your video's performance massively. It's like that classic example of survivorship bias from World War II. I don't even know if this is real, but it's the idea is that they try to put armor on the areas where damage
could be good, right? Like, good is a very nebulous term, right? It means a lot of things to different people, but a video can be good in low quality. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's what makes it good, is how low quality it is. You know what I'm talking about? That there used to be like really low quality memes. I'm struggling to like think of one. I know I have a few on my hard drive, but sometimes like the comedy or the thing that makes the thing good is how like low effort and low quality it is.
planes that made it back to base had been hit, without realizing that the only reason those planes were able to return to base is that hits to those areas didn't actually
I'm sure
take
everyone
them
can
down.
think of like
so they should be
an
putting
instance
armor
of that
pretty much
being
everywhere
true.
else. The reason why videos feel so bipolar is because videos that are not fully lockstep with one established narrative suffer a massive hit to their average view duration, because members of both sides will click, hit a point that they disagree with, and then click off the video. This schism is the direct result of YouTube's shift toward average view duration as the most important metric, which I think had a really profound impact on any sort of opinion-driven video. It's not just the fact that people are more likely to share something that they agree with, it's the fact that people are more likely to click off immediately when they hear something they disagree with, which tells YouTube to stop recommending it. The higher your average view duration, the more money YouTube can make from ad slots on the video, and the more YouTube will recommend your video. You're legitimately way better off alienating a large portion of the potential audience off the rip than you are packaging your video in a way that is universally appealing. YouTube will learn to just not show it to people who disagree with you, and your analytics will improve. If you don't pick one side of the dominant narrative and adhere to it exactly, you're going to annihilate your analytics, and your video is going to die roughly 48 hours after it is posted. You are way better off omitting any opinions that you may have that are not directly acceptable to your target audience. The recommendation algorithm is basically forced to be bipolar. I'd even wager this is why when you watch one video, you'll get like 20 of basically the exact same thing recommended to you over and over and over again for the next few days.
By the way,
the algorithm knows.
Speaking of like low quality, I've gotten Dan Chris to agree to like help with editing. Remember when we watched that leaflet video a few streams ago? And it was literally her reacting to somebody else's video, and all she did was say like 5 sentences worth of shit during the 14-minute video. And we were all sitting there stunned in disbelief that someone could, like, this is a highlight channel of this person. This is a highlight of a stream, and all she did was sit there and watch someone else's video and say 5 sentences for the entire thing. She just basically re-uploaded the entire video, but with her character in front of it. And she still got like 60, 70,000 views. I'm doing that. That's coming. I'm making another channel. It'll be a highlight channel for these streams. I've gotten Dan Chris to help, like, to agree to help make these like long, these like kind of like 10-minute, 15-minute clips of like react segments or like me playing a game or something, you know, whatever, where there's like no editing at all except for bleeping out what I'm saying when it needs to be. That's pretty much it. So that's what we're gonna do. Link Enwa, I haven't made it yet. I'll make a post when I make it yet, but we're going down that route. We're going down that route.
That people are way more likely to click off of stuff immediately that they disagree with. So it's very careful to only show you stuff that it knows.
You need a PNG or a VTuber model for it, though. No, I don't.
That you, at the very least, watch something very similar all the way to the end. The shift toward average view duration...
A VTuber model would help, but I refuse. I just simply refuse.
Is basically a shift toward rewarding predictability and encouraging the avoidance of anything that may not exactly match the viewer's opinions and tastes.
Exact same thing.
Really, it is a policy meant to sell more ad slots disguised as giving viewers what they want. It puts a disproportionate amount of influence in the hands of the most extreme viewers, and it screws over, you know, most of the people who actually watch YouTube. Basically, it's created 2 parallel echo chambers where you will only be shown the stuff that agrees with you, and it forms a feedback loop, which I don't think I need to spell it out for you why that's bad. It's algorithmically enforced confirmation bias. You can definitely see this in the comment section of a lot of videos, where it seems like people cannot fathom that someone may disagree with them, but also not be a member of their rival nerd gang. I don't think this is necessarily their own ignorance either. It's the fact that they genuinely do not even get to see those opposing opinions unless they're in direct opposition, because the website is designed to tailor their experience specifically to prevent edge cases from happening.
That's very similar. It's very similar to how media was before the internet as well, right? The dominant narrative was whatever some wealthy Jews wanted you to believe, and that was the only thing that you'd ever see on TV. You would never hear an actual opposing message for like current events or news or something like that, or politics. And it still is like the same. It's still the same thing, even though like the guy that runs YouTube now is Indian. More than likely, there's like powerful Jews in some way, shape, or form. I don't know the exact science behind it, but the ADL is here somewhere. Okay, there's somewhere. You just know.
In regard to my own videos, it's more so about my own inability to find anything in my recommended.
You notice how all these like different forms of media have followed the exact same path. The exact same path.
All or nothing about any subject. I have pretty eclectic taste, but all of the things that I'm recommended about any game will say that either it is flawless and there's nothing wrong with it, or that it is completely evil and it has no...
You just wait. You kind of wait until Synth or someone else streams now. Yeah. I mean, if I'm like gaming, if I'm doing something like I'm playing Zomboid, right, and I don't really need to have my full attention dedicated to what I'm doing, I'll like look for a video to put on in the background to like listen to. But that's pretty much it. right? I really don't. I don't watch too much shit on my own time either. I'm typically rewatching a show like Futurama or South Park.
Redeeming qualities. There's almost never an in-between. This isn't fence sitting. I'm interested in hearing the truth, even if it doesn't necessarily agree with my preconceptions. I'd rather hear somebody be authentic and not say what I think than just hear somebody say what I think if they're lying. There are plenty of instances, like with something as horrific as Mixtape, where there is absolutely only one way to think about that thing, but it certainly isn't every time. If you want to make a video that isn't all or nothing, the first time you say anything that goes against one of those narratives, you lose 25 to 30% of your audience and the video stops getting recommended or showing up in search. It kills the video's growth completely. The irony to me is that if you want to sell out, you're way better off picking one side and sticking with it no matter what. Giving your honest opinion, if it doesn't fit into one mold or another, is going to directly hurt your revenue and reach. If money's what you're after, you're way better off lying, or at the very least, rounding off the edges of what you think to suit one direction or the other. Again, this is primarily irritating to me because I like seeing someone's authentic opinion, and it's increasingly
You're not gonna
difficult for me to
get that,
find
brother.
If you
You're never gonna get that on the internet. An authentic opinion, boiled straight from the mind. No, that's never gonna happen.
look at any of these
That does
channels
not
too,
happen
it's
anymore,
amazing that
my
like
friend.
they've never made a positive video or they've never made a negative video. There's almost never something in between. Their opinion is unilaterally identical regardless of the subject matter. I bet that they even know what
I
they're
was about
going
to
to
ask,
say
is there a how
before
to
a
fix
game
it
comes
card?
out. I find it
Yeah,
really hard to
apparently there
believe that
is. He's
someone
gonna
who
give us
takes
how
the
to fix
time
it.
to make videos
I don't think
about
there
video
is any
games
way to
has
fix
hated
it.
every single fucking one of them that has come out in the last 5 years, or vice versa. I'm surprised that more people aren't bothered by this, really. As a viewer, it sucks. There's almost no point in watching 90% of the videos in my recommended because I can tell you exactly what the dude is going to say, bar for motherfucking bar, the whole way through by reading the first couple words of the title or by the way that the thumbnail looks. That being said, on the creator's side, I really don't blame these people. It's a case of don't hate the player, hate the game. Sponsors are lucrative, and it's hard to negotiate them consistently if your view count varies massively per video, which is what happens if you rock the boat a little bit. You're leaving a lot of money on the table if you're not going to give the viewer exactly what they expect every single time, and that's built into the site. Those are the rules of the game. I think, or at least I hope, that a shift back toward click-through and subscriptions being more relevant is inevitable. Because as it stands, I have a really hard time finding anything I'd consider worth watching, and I know that I'm definitely not alone in that.
It's
That
not.
being
It's
said,
not gonna
I'm
do
not
that.
exactly going to hold my breath.
Because click-through doesn't get them money. Somebody watching one ad is not going to get them money. What gets YouTube the most money is people watching multiple ads in one video, right? That's what gets it, because people lose track of time. Let's say you turn off autoplay. You turn off autoplay and you're like gaming or something. That means whenever you have the time, you have to actually physically go over and hit like next. So you have to find a new video to watch. And that downtime, while you're like, trying to find a safe spot to like, crouch down, bunker down for a second, pause the game, and click on a new video, is time that was wasted where you could have been served an ad. That's how these fucking Indians view it.
Still, things are definitely a lot better now than they were years ago.
So
when
it's
the
better to
creat-
get you to click once and get think of it like this. Click once, get served 10 ads. Click once, get served 1 ad. Right? 1 ad per click or 10 ads per click. That's the goal. You want more ads per click.
side with monetization and all that, but this duality is probably the worst thing facing the platform right now. Videos that aren't super predictable getting squeezed out of recommended really blows. And it's funny to me that I always see people talking about how they think it's weird that they see like 20 almost identical videos after they watch one on the subject all the way through, but then they don't make the connection between these two issues. I know I made this video about gaming YouTube because that's where I noticed it, but I assume this carries over to pretty much every other genre on the site. Again, it isn't good if the website is never going to show people anything that they may disagree with. It'll give them a false sense that everyone thinks the same way they do, or thinks the opposite of what they do, and they're never going to question
Well,
if
they
maybe
should.
some of the shit they believe isn't exactly true. Even if you don't give a shit about that, you can at least agree with me on the fact that so many videos on this website feel completely predictable
But
and
here's the
formulaic
thing,
at
though,
this
is that,
point,
like,
and this is why. I am absolutely positive that the people making these sorts of videos I'm talking about oftentimes do not even believe what they're saying. They just know this is an infinite money glitch right now. Do I blame them?
it's definitely true. But they all should think exactly like me, though. They all should agree with me.
Not really. Gotta pay the bills
They're
somehow.
just wrong
Would I
if
do
they
it?
aren't.
Nah. It seems way too easy to corner yourself long term doing that sort of thing. Mark my words, if the way the algorithm works does change, a lot of those channels will drop the shtick and branch out, if only because honest videos are way more fun to make. I cannot imagine sitting down every week or two to pump out basically the exact same video over and over and over again. Like, you might as well just get a real job at that point. Videos were absolutely not like this 10 years ago. I used to get recommended videos of all types, and now it is just like looking at a wall of alternating tiles
The
of love
algorithm
and
has
hate, which
shifted a
is
lot
pretty damn
throughout
boring. I think
YouTube's
this is all part of a
lifespan.
larger issue on the internet where it seems the vocal minority of people who actively comment or interact with things regularly on social media have become increasingly polarized. Either it is worthy of worship or deserves to be cast down and destroyed sort of crowd, which I guess is reflective of how many people treat entertainment like a religion now, but that's a topic for another video that will be coming out in the next couple weeks.
Okay. I mean, I agree, but I don't see there actually being a way to fix it. I think it'll only get worse. There will be an update to the system very soon where the only videos you're gonna see are like 9 hours long. That's the only shit you're gonna get recommended. Unless you go on the shorts. They're gonna change YouTube so that shorts are going to be like videos that are my length, right? 10 minutes long. Those are going to be considered shorts soon enough. And every video on main YouTube is going to be like 9 hours, bro. That's what's in the future. That's what's in the future. And you're going to love it. You're going to love every minute of it, baby. You're going to fucking eat it up. Let's see here. Tape. Ranking every SpongeBob episode ever. No, thank you. That is, you'll fuck yourself. We're not watching that. Define National Social. Ooh, okay. Let's see this. Let's see if he gets it right. Oh my god.
Few political ideologies have generated as much historical confusion as National Socialism. The term is frequently treated as synonymous with dictatorship,
Yeah,
racism,
nobody knows.
or the
Nobody has any
political
idea what it
phenomenon
means.
associated with Adolf Hitler. Yet understanding National Socialism requires going deeper
People that hate it
into
the most
the
understand it the
intellectual and
least,
political world
which is even funnier.
from which it emerged. It developed in Germany after the First World War from a mixture of radical nationalism, racial thinking, anti-Marxism, authoritarian political theory, social Darwinism, populism, and further ideas about national community. The movement sought to create a radically transformed German society in which individual interests would be subordinated to an imagined national community, the Volksgemeinschaft. Adolf Hitler became its dominant political figure, but National Socialism was never simply the product of one man's personality. Thinkers and propagandists such as Alfred Rosenberg, political organizers such as Anton Drexler and Joseph Goebbels, and a much wider collection of nationalist and racial theorists contributed to its development. To define National Socialism, therefore, requires examining the interaction between its ideas, its political circumstances, and the movement's conception of state, race, nation, leadership, and society. The roots of National Socialism extended considerably further back than the creation of the Nazi Party. 19th century Europe had witnessed the development of increasingly intense nationalism, the spread of theories of racial hierarchy, the popularity of social Darwinist interpretations of human society, and growing criticism of liberalism and parliamentary politics. Germany's particular historical development added another dimension.
I think liberalism was kind of popular. Yeah, well, socialism popular, right? My brain just kind of immediately combined the two because modern day. But yeah, I guess he's right. I guess he's right. Socialism specific gained a lot of traction during this time.
The unification of Germany in 1871 created a powerful nation state relatively late compared with Britain and France, while industrialization produced enormous social changes. Rapid economic development created both prosperity and dislocation,
National
while
Socialism with
socialism
Trump and
became
ICE. Yeah,
increasingly
exactly. That's what
influential
it
among
is.
sections of
Is
the working class.
National Socialism is when Mayan
German
goddess got
nationalism
kidnapped by the
consequently
government.
developed alongside competing visions
However, the
of
taco
modernity.
stand shut down.
Some nationalists imagined Germany as a liberal constitutional state. Others desired
you
a
talking
more
about when-
authoritarian and
Are you talking about that fucking taco stand that the white women were running and liberals shut it down because they considered it cultural appropriation? Is that what the fuck you're talking about? Because I have no idea what else you could be talking about.
culturally unified nation. National Socialism emerged from this wider intellectual environment and combined several existing currents into a new political synthesis. The experience of the First World War and the collapse of
You
Imperial
feel sadness when you see
Germany
photos of
was
1930s
decisive.
Germany? Yeah, me too, bro.
The German Revolution of
It's either extreme
1918 to
sadness or, like-
1919, the
Like
abdication
extreme awe. You know what I mean? Like there's that one photo where they have all of the people like that came out to see the speech, Hitler's speech, and it's just like it's a million people, a crowd of like literally a million people.
of Kaiser Wilhelm II,
That one doesn't
the
make me sad, it makes me
establishment of
feel
the Weimar
awe.
Republic
Like I'm
and the
awestruck.
Treaty of Versailles created an environment in which many Germans experienced political and
A little
national
uneasy.
humiliation. Inflation, political violence, economic instability, and ideological conflict contributed to a profound crisis of confidence in the new republic. National Socialists exploited these circumstances by presenting parliamentary democracy as weak, divided, and incapable of restoring German strength. Their political
And they were
language
right.
promised national
They were right.
renewal,
It was incapable.
unity, and stability. This helps explain why National Socialism appealed to people with very different motivations. For some, it represented a defense of nationalism. For others, an answer to communism. For others still, an escape from the perceived disorder of liberal democracy.
Also economic relief.
Its
Germany really
ability to combine different groups.
man. A lot of people voted not voted. A lot of people supported it because it promised economic relief, right? Germany was like fucked up economically speaking during the 30s and 20s. They were not doing good. So that was a big motivator for people to get behind it too. It's why socialism or communism, right, was doing so well as well. It's because they were promising to fix the economy. People were struggling to fucking buy food.
Grievances into a single political narrative was one of its greatest strengths. At the center of this narrative was the concept of the nation as a biological and cultural community. National Socialism used the term Volk to describe something considerably more significant than citizenship.
Yeah.
The Volk was imagined as a community united by ancestry, culture, history, and
And
blood.
that the concept of the nation being a biological entity goes back to Thomas Hobbes. Thomas Hobbes, I think it was 1500s, 1400s, he wrote Leviathan. And that's kind of when the idea of the state, the nation being a living, breathing organism was kind of popularized or mainstream. Became part of like common philosophy at the time, at least. I'm sure if you were to ask somebody today, you were to ask somebody on the street today, they would not agree with it. But that's how people viewed it back then.
This conception distinguished National Socialism from civic forms of nationalism that define membership primarily through citizenship and political institutions. The National Socialist conception of national belonging was fundamentally racial. The German nation was imagined as an organic community whose interests transcended those of individuals.
A major difference between it and fascism, actually, because fascism did not take race into account. It's nationality. Very different things. Nationality and race are very different things. Fascism did not care if you were not Italian. If you were an Italian citizen of any background, then you were fine, right? It's kind of like civic nationalism. You know what I mean? Very similar to that. While National Socialism had a specific race element to it, ethnic makeup element to it. And what's interesting about it is that it's transplantable onto any group of people. You don't need to be German to follow it because it's specific to your ethnic, right?
From this perspective, political conflict between social classes represented a destructive division of the national body. National Socialists therefore attempted to replace class identity with a racialized conception of national solidarity. The idea was expressed through the concept of the
They just woke up one day, they were filled with hate. Yeah,
people's community.
And for no reason.
The phrase
it was for no reason. They did it for literally no good reason.
In which class
That's why people do things.
Regional differences and individual interests would be subordinated to a supposedly unified national purpose. The concept possessed a powerful political appeal because it promised to overcome the divisions that had characterized Weimar Germany.
What is... Nobody's sending me art. Oh, Dead Name, excuse me. Dead Name is sending me art right now. You guys want to see it? What? Okay. I'm assuming that this is supposed to be Bazooka. That's him. That's obviously me. Is that fucking 9? Why am I shooting 9S? That's not even 2B. That's 9S. There's nothing like feminine about 2B here. Is he calling me gay? Bro, this guy's calling me gay. Wait a minute. Yeah, I think he's taking a jab at me.
Workers, farmers, businessmen, soldiers, and members of the middle classes could theoretically understand themselves as members of one national community. Yet the definition of who belonged to that community was highly exclusionary.
We're dead name respecters. Yeah, we don't dead name no name.
Upon drawing boundaries
we don't say no name anymore. It's dead name. That's what he goes by now.
Groups
we respect that.
As incompatible
We're
with
dead
its
name
racial
respecters
and
here,
ideological
okay?
identity. That is where National Socialism's relationship with a racial ideology becomes essential. Racial thinking was not unique to National Socialism and had existed throughout the 19th and early 20th century Europe and elsewhere. What made National Socialism distinctive was the extent to which racial categories were integrated into its understanding of history, politics, and the state. Human history was and is interpreted through conflict between racial groups.
Schizo moment? Well, I am
while
kind of
cultural
a schizo, man. Let's be
achievements
real
were
here.
associated with particular racial communities.
It became very clear to me that, like, I am an actual schizo when everyone in chat was telling me that they don't see they don't see the happy merchant in the Google Translate logo. It became very clear to me that, like, I'm the crazy one, right?
National Socialists believe that the survival and development of the German nation depended upon maintaining what they regarded as
Much time
racial
on pull, man.
integrity.
What can I say?
This gave political questions a biological dimension. Citizenship, marriage, reproduction, education, and cultural life could all be interpreted through the framework of race. Alfred Rosenberg played an important role in developing and popularizing this worldview. Born in the Russian Empire in 1893, and later becoming one of the most influential intellectual figures within the National Socialist movement, Rosenberg attempted to provide National Socialism with a broader philosophical and historical framework. His most significant ideological work, The Myth of the 20th Century, published in 1930, presented history through a racial and cultural interpretation of civilization. Rosenberg argued that struggles between racial and cultural forces shaped the development of nations and societies.
Jesus would agree with a nation primarily being
He
made
was
up of
particularly interested in
race. Fun fact:
constructing a
the Bible
Germanic
explicitly
cultural
tells
worldview
you how
capable
Jews
of
take over a
competing with
country.
Christianity, liberalism,
With the
Marxism,
story
and what he regarded
first
as
Jew in
foreign
Egypt.
intellectual influences.
Probably one of the most
Rosenberg's
anti-Semitic
importance
things you could
lies
possibly read.
partly in demonstrating that National Socialism was more than a collection of political slogans. There existed an attempt within the movement to construct a comprehensive worldview, or Weltanschauung. National Socialism sought to explain history, culture, morality, politics, and society through a unified ideological framework. Rosenberg's writings were often complex, speculative, and internally inconsistent, and his influence within the regime fluctuated. Hitler himself did not simply reproduce Rosenberg's philosophy. Nevertheless, Rosenberg represented an important intellectual tendency within National Socialism: the desire to replace existing systems of thought with a distinctly racial national worldview. The relationship between National Socialism and socialism is one of the most misunderstood aspects of the ideology.
Yeah,
The
we're
presence-
aware. We see people like Elon Musk saying, like, Hitler was a leftist. It's just fucking obviously not true. You'd have to be mentally retarded to think something like that. But a thing that was kind of left out there is that the bedrock for the ideology is actually in Darwin's science. It's the fact that your genes dictate the majority of who you are as a person and how you think, right? Different groups of people have evolved differently and have different. They have specialized for different things and think in different ways. It's kind of like the ground for the bedrock that the entire ideology is
of
on.
the word socialist in the party's name has frequently led to assumptions that National Socialism belonged to the socialist political tradition. Historically, the National Socialist movement was fiercely hostile to Marxism and to the political organizations associated with German socialism.
Yeah,
and
militantly
communism.
opposed. Militantly opposed.
The word socialism within National Socialism had a different meaning from Marxist socialism. National Socialists used it to describe a form of national solidarity in which individual economic interests were subordinated to the perceived needs of the national community. They rejected international class struggle, and private ownership was not abolished as a general principle. The movement sought cooperation between workers, employers, and the state under an
To
authoritarian
the extent
national
that private property, okay, so what private property was abolished? Well, the monopolization of land. First off, land was considered a vital resource that could not be owned by like you couldn't own too much land, right? Because you owning too much land causes other people not to own land, right? So you were only really allowed to own a certain amount. That's why one of the first things they did was they seized the land from all the primarily Jewish people who bought it all up at really low rates during their recession, during their depression, right? And it was seized, and it was basically kind of, I'm not gonna say given out because it wasn't given out, but it was sold back to the German people for less than what it was worth, essentially, right? Um, so that's one element of where private property was kind of ignored, and it was just considered. It's like water. You can't own all the water. Okay, if Elon Musk decided tomorrow that he was going to buy literally all of the drinkable water that there is, obviously people would have a problem with that, right? Land was considered a vital resource that was limited and needed to be dispersed and like it needed to be managed by the government so that people didn't acquire too much of it and deprive their fellow German of it. See what I'm saying? Is there any other instances that come to mind? There were. It was necessary to have a National Socialist Party representative in your business. Once your business reached a certain point, you had to have a party member, like an inspector almost, on your payroll in your party, in your corporation to like basically make sure that you're not breaking the law, right? Make sure that you're following the law.
Framework.
So that's another aspect of like private property.
Its
kind of
economic
being
policy was therefore
ignored.
pragmatic and heavily shaped by political and military objectives rather than by a consistent socialist theory. National Socialism's rejection of liberalism was equally fundamental. Liberal political thought places considerable emphasis on individual rights, constitutional government, political pluralism, and limitations upon state power. National Socialism approached these principles with a deep suspicion. The individual was understood primarily through membership in the national community, while political opposition was viewed as a threat to national unity. The movement favored an authoritarian state capable of coordinating society toward a common purpose. This was connected to its rejection of parliamentary democracy. Political competition was regarded as a source of fragmentation, while leadership was presented as a mechanism through which the supposedly unified will of the nation.
Dude, look at that guy's fucking chin, bro. Oh my god, that jawline? God damn.
This produced the principle of the Führerprinzip, or the leadership.
This bitch can't believe it either. Look at her. She's like, God damn, look at this guy's chin. She's in disbelief.
The principle of the Führerprinzip, or the leadership principle. Political authority was conceived as flowing downward through a hierarchy of leadership and obedience. The leader was expected to embody the national will and make decisive political choices, while subordinate institutions and individuals were expected to follow. Hitler's personal authority consequently became central to the political structure.
He had final
of
say,
National Socialism.
Right? He did have final say, but it's not like he was running the entire show. There was like a council of reps, right? A council for like running the actual government. You know what I mean? It wasn't like everything had to be passed through him. There were people who like delegate. It was just like delegation, right? Where it's economics, financial stuff was lowered, expected to be handled by experts of economics and finance, a council member who's specifically a council member because they are the expert for the party in that field, right? So a lot of it wasn't actually ran by Hitler himself. It was just that if Hitler wanted something done, it was done. He had the final say on, like, he had total power, but most of the government was actually ran by other people.
His ability to communicate, simplify political problems, create emotional narratives, and present himself as a figure of national renewal was an essential part of the movement's success. Yet the Führerprinzip also represented a broader ideological rejection
So
of
modern day
political
Britain? No.
pluralism.
No.
Authority
No, it's not
was
modern day Britain.
concentrated rather
There's a lot
than
of things the PM
dispersed,
can't do.
and loyalty to the leader became increasingly important within the political system. National Socialism also possessed a distinctive conception of history. The past was interpreted as evidence of a permanent struggle between peoples and racial communities. This historical worldview encouraged the belief that nations existed in competition and that weakness invited domination. Germany's defeat in the First World War could therefore be presented as part of a larger historical struggle rather than as a consequence of particular political or military circumstances. National revivals required overcoming weakness, restoring unity, and expanding national power. This interpretation of history helped connect domestic political transformation with foreign policy ambitions. The movement's relationship with modernity was similarly complicated. National Socialism frequently presented itself
German
as a
foreign
rejection
policy
of
was
aspects
pretty
of modern
straightforward. It
liberal
was mostly
civilization.
isolationist, right? It was mostly isolation. But when they did trade with other nations, a major part of that, it wasn't just like, we will give you this much money if you if you give us at this much product. A lot of times it was bartering. It was, we will give you, 10,000 German-made chairs for, whatever resource it is that they wanted at the time. It was a lot of bartering. And in that way, they were able to secure jobs for people, right? It was causing, rather than just the government getting fucking money, it was actually employing people to build the goods that they were using to do international trade with. See, it was another way that they were able to, not just like the huge increase in military spending, right? Build more guns and tanks and ammo and whatnot, but it was also that international trade system that allowed them to get people back to work and get people able to afford food again.
Yet it made extensive use of modern technology, mass communication, industrial organization, political marketing, and bureaucratic administration. Such mediums as radio, film, photography, public rallies, and modern transportation allowed the movement to create an unprecedented political spectacle. National Socialism understood that modern mass society required modern methods of persuasion. The ancient symbolism of national destiny could therefore be combined with the contemporary technology. This fusion between myth and modernity became one of the movement's defining characteristics. National Socialism also attempted to reshape everyday social life. Education, youth organizations, cultural institutions, sport, and public ceremonies were increasingly placed within the ideological framework of the regime. The objective was to cultivate individuals who understood themselves primarily as members of the national community. Political ideology therefore extended beyond government and into questions of identity and belonging. This is significant because National Socialism was not simply authoritarian in the narrow sense of demanding obedience to political leaders.
It's a worldview.
It aspired to create
It's not a political philosophy. It is a philosophy. It's a worldview.
a comprehensive social order in which politics, culture, and personal identity were connected to a common worldview. Yet National Socialism contained significant tensions and contradictions. It sought to create unity while defining membership through exclusion. It promoted collective solidarity while maintaining private economic structures and
the exclusion, we know who was excluded. Yeah. In order for you to qualify as a ethnic German, this was literally what the law was, okay? You had to have 3 out of your 4 grandparents had been born in Germany. That would qualify you to be an ethnic German in National Socialism. That's literally what it was. And that's why you could see photos of like the rare black guy in the army in like the Waffen SS uniform stuff, because 3 out of the 4 ancestors that he had were born in Germany, right? That did happen. That's why there were Jews in military as well, is because they met the requirement to be considered Germans. Everyone else was, and they had disavowed that aspect of them. But that was the difference between when people go, well, look at all the Jews, you know, kept in the army and stuff. But what's that about? That's literally what it was. All the other ones got sent to the camps because they were seen as a invader, a parasite, a foreign body, a foreign germ to the national body. You see what I mean? Like a kind of like a white blood cell reaction. Foreign elements being in your system.
Relationships with industrial elites. It celebrated tradition while employing modern technology and mass political organization. It demanded ideological consistency while allowing competing institutions and personalities to pursue overlapping areas of authority. These contradictions are important because ideologies operating in real political environments rarely correspond perfectly to their historical and theoretical claims.
I mean, that's true, right? There definitely were contradictions, but a lot of it was a cause, it was because they needed to solve a problem, right? It's not just because they didn't think about it. There was a specific problem that needed to be solved, right? Like the extreme amount of social welfare that happened at the very beginning, the very beginning of the National Socialist regime, was because they just simply had to. People couldn't afford food. They simply had to. It was quickly dealt with once the economy got back on its feet. It was done away with, but that is true. They did have very generous social programs that
between ideology, political necessity, and institutional competition. Defining National Socialism therefore requires moving beyond any single characteristic. It was a radical form of German nationalism,
temporary solutions for temporary problems, right? Whereas in America, we kind of have the different idea of it, where we have permanent solutions to temporary problems. A law will get passed, a way of doing things gets through, right? And then it never goes away. Never. Even if it's proven to not work, it's still there. It's still written into law, and it will more than likely never go away.
Authoritarian leadership and opposition to liberal democracy and Marxism. It sought to subordinate the individual to the Volksgemeinschaft, interpret history through racial struggle, and create a state capable of directing society toward a national destiny. Hitler provided the movement with its dominant personality, while figures such as Alfred Rosenberg attempted to give its intellectual depth and a coherent worldview. The movement drew upon the ideas that predated it, but combined them in a distinctive way suited to the political crisis of interwar Germany. The historical significance of National Socialism ultimately lies in the extraordinary breadth of its ambitions. It sought to redefine what it meant to belong to a nation, what authority should look like, how society should be organized, and how history itself should be understood. Its appeal cannot be explained solely through economic hardship or political opportunism, nor can its development be understood entirely through the personality of Hitler. National Socialism emerged from the interaction
A lot of its appeal.
between long.
So a lot. Look at like America today, right? America today has a lot of people that feel ostracized and not part of the group. A lot of people feel that way, right? You look at Japan too. You have the hikikomori crisis that they have going on, where people literally just lock themselves away and abandon society. Where this National Socialist Germany actively reached out to these people and put them in programs like the Hitler Youth to socialize them at a young age, and even in adulthood. It was very, very, like very fucking persistent and active when it came to trying to get their people to go out and socialize, like be part of the community, be part of the nation. I got a question. Couldn't Germany just have deported the Jews to Israel, though, instead of the Holocaust? They tried. So, what you're talking about is the... what was it called? Fuck, let me... They did try, though. They did try to send them to... Not all of them left. What's it called? What was the Havara Agreement? Okay, so the Havara Agreement... Right here. I thought for some reason Balfour Declaration came to mind, but it's not Balfour. It's the Havara Agreement. It was an agreement between Nazi Germany and the Zionist organization signed on 25th August 1933. The agreement was finalized after 3 months of talks by the Zionist Federation of Germany and Anglo-Palestinian Bank. See how they showed up. Bank. In the economic authorities of Nazi Germany. A major factor in making possible the migration of approximately 60,000 German Jews to Palestine between 1933 and 1939. So basically what the agreement was, right? Now that we know that this was a real thing, that actually, to show you, even Wikipedia acknowledges the fact that this was a real thing. They tried to deport them, okay? Basically the agreement was, if you self-deport, if you leave, we will facilitate it. We will pay for you to leave. We will pay you to leave as well. And all of your possessions we will literally buy all of your possessions and give you the money. We'll buy them at above market value just to get you out of here. And they will deport you to Israel. They'll put a big fat stack of cash in your hand and just to get you the fuck out. And not everyone took it. Not everyone took that agreement. Apparently 60,000 of them took it. Not a lot. Not a lot. Considering that there were, 600,000 estimated to be in Germany at the time? So 10%. 10% of them took it. The other 10% stayed. I mean, the other 90% stayed.
Standing intellectual currents, the trauma of war and political collapse, modern mass politics, and a unique vision of national identity. Alfred Rosenberg's writings illustrate the movement's attempt to construct an ideological universe in which race, culture, and history formed an interconnected system. While Hitler's leadership demonstrated how such ideas could be transformed into a powerful political movement for the arguable betterment of, or worsening of, Germany as a country. To define National Socialism, therefore, is to examine a political ideology built around the idea of a national rebirth through collective unity, racial identity, and authoritarian leadership. Its language of community, order, and renewal appealed to a society experiencing profound instability, while its underlying worldview rejected political pluralism and defined national belonging in exclusionary racial terms. Understanding those ideas historically does not require admiration or condemnation as a substitute for analysis. It requires examining how the ideology developed, why its concepts appealed to particular audiences.
So here is a photo of the coin that the Nazis published to commemorate this deportation agreement that had the deportation effect. So here you have the swastika on one side and then the Jewish Star of David on the other, right? This is a real thing. This is literally, brother. I know it's fucking absurd and ridiculous, but that's literally an official Nazi coin that was minted during Hitler's reign, where they put both the fucking swastika and the Star of David on the same fucking coin. Would they do that if they were just going to like murder them all? If the plan was to just murder them all, why would they do this? It's ridiculous. People will fucking believe anything. You can get people to believe anything. Just make sure we produce enough. We gotta have photos of us making the pizza. We gotta have photos of us making the pizza, so that way no one can say we didn't make the pizza.
And how its theoretical claims interacted with political reality. National Socialism remains important to study precisely because it demonstrates how nationalism, racial ideology, mass politics, and the desire for collective purpose can combine.
Did they clip the coin? You fucking know it, brother. You know they were clipping the coin.
Of transforming an entire society.
Oh, it's part of the video. I was like, where is that coming from? That was pretty good. He was actually pretty good at explaining it. I'm not gonna lie, and that's very rare. That's very, very rare that people have any kind of any kind of understanding of it whatsoever. There was a few notes that I said at the time, but for the most part, it was very good. It was very good. It was pretty accurate. Told me it's supposed to be 2B. It's okay. All right, all right. It's a rough sketch. He's not done with it. All right. Sam Hyde is being recommended. I don't know, man. Maybe we'll just move on to gaming. I'll play some Yakuza. Some Yakuza chat? How we feel about that? How do we feel about that? Probably not happy. Probably not happy. Sure they would have, the 6 million Jews agreed to leave if they were recommended Boca Raton. You just send them somewhere nicer. Pretty sure we tried to send some of them to America. Didn't a bunch of them try to? Didn't we try to? Didn't excuse me? Not we. Didn't Germany try to send them to America? America was like, no. It's fucking. We're like, nah. One more video? I mean, I'm not really getting recommended anything here that looks interesting. And there's a video about like Elon Musk, but I don't really want to watch that. Did I watch Tim Pool versus 20 liberals? Oh, that sounds fucking hilarious. Let's watch that. One moderate versus 20 liberal. Dude, all right. Is Tim Pool really a moderate? Let's be real here. I don't think Tim Pool is really a moderate. What do you guys think? I'd call him like a fucking lol butt. If I had to put a word to it, I'd call him a lol butt. Jubilee slop. Yeah, we're gonna watch some Jubilee slop. I want to see what the Beanie Man had. We're not gonna watch all hour and 40 minutes of it. Oh, we can get, dude. We can get Hassan reacting to it. Oh my god! Wait a minute. Wait, do we want Hassan reacting to it, or do we want just the raw video? Lolbert? No, we call them lolbuts here. You get? They're lolbuts. Okay. You know the hold on. Let me find the image. So like it's like this is like the snake, right? This is the snake, and then you add like the yellow background and the little green grass underneath. I'm gonna make that actually. I'm gonna gimp. Just go ahead and get a specific size that way. Window capture, GIMP. First, add a. No, wait, we don't need an alpha channel because it's gonna make it yellow. And then we dump the paint right there. Bam, we take this. Make it a little bit. Oh, wait. Oh, it's because the selected. Okay, yeah, yeah. Make it a little bit smaller so it fits on screen a little bit better. Then we need our green for the grass, right? Our green for the grass. There. Select this layer. And I don't know. What do we want the text to say? It's just goon, dude. Because that's all they're fucking good for is gooning these fucking people. That's all they care about is gooning. That's probably, and we need to make this Comic Sans, dude. This has to be Comic Sans. Comic Sans. Make this like 50. Goon. There you go. That's the lulbud flag. Dude, it's perfect. Dude, this is like this is it, man. This is it. This is. Would you like to? Hey, buddy. Would you like to join my political movement? Well, what is it? Oh, yes, I'm very interested. I'm very interested. Uh. of that. What were we gonna do? Oh yeah, Tim Pool. Tim Pool. I forgot about that. But yeah, like I think he's more of like a fucking libertarian than a moderate, right? So let's see what we got here.
You have a lot of politicians on the Democrat side who got behind authoritarian practices during COVID. I'm not going to support those individuals.
So, but the authoritarian practices today, you're willing to look.
Holy fuck! What is going? Why does it look like that? Oh my god, this guy's so fat it lowered my fucking resolution to fit him on screen. It can't render that many pixels.
Past.
All right.
Some of them, yes.
Come on, man.
The mainstream political left commits more violence than the mainstream political right.
None of what you're saying makes any sense. It sounds like you're
does.
honestly grifting a lot.
You can say that
Let me
there's
ask you a
civil
question.
war every fucking year and it doesn't happen. And
I
you're gonna
never
say
said
it just
there
hasn't
was.
happened yet.
You want me to get you a
I'm just saying,
soapbox?
it's really
I can leave.
easy.
You want me to,
It's
go?
really easy to
You want me
like
to
do
leave?
what you do.
You want me to
It's
leave?
really easy to do what you do.
It's just
the
so
United States
performative.
tracking towards
Oh
civil
my
war?
god! Intelligent black woman alert. Uh-oh. Alarms, guys. Alarms. Notify
Is
the
America
police.
more united than it seems? Hi everyone, I'm Paris Rose, and I'll be filling in for John today. From Jubilee Media, this is Surrounded.
Hey, Kane.
where
How's it
one
going, man?
voice
Thanks
sold
for
is a room full of
becoming a
disagreeers.
member of the
Today
Totally
we're
Nice
debating
Dudes,
which
man.
political
Appreciate
party
it.
is more violent. Is authoritarianism on the rise in America? And have both parties abandoned their oath to the Constitution? I'm here with our featured guest, moderate political commentator.
I'm
Tim
not
Pool.
allowed to react to Jubilee videos on YouTube because they copyright strike people. All right, let me get my hold up. We got to take a precaution here, chat. Apparently, I'm going to get in big trouble. So let me find my image. Gotta find my image here. Gotta wait for my fucking external hard drive to load. It's gonna take a second. Hold on. 20 terabytes. It takes a second to boot up. Let's see it. Go, and it should be. Right here. Right there. There we go. Oh, look at that handsome motherfucker. Alright. Grab this. Make it like here. Put it like here. Oh, how do I not get in trouble here? I have to it has to be transformative. I have to make it trans. Oh, I have to make it obviously I have to make it trans. Flag is the trans flag. There it is. I need it to be like I need a transparent background. Kind PNG. To me. For personal use only. Oh, fuck! This is copyrighted too. Oh well. Image, add new, browse. It's transformative. There you go.
I'm Tim Pool. I'm the host of Timcast IRL, and today I'm surrounded by progressives. My first surrounded claim is that the mainstream left commits more violence than the mainstream right.
If you'd like to be the first debater, get to the chair in 3,
Obviously.
2, 1.
How's it going? Hey.
Great to meet you, buddy. How you doing?
Likewise. Pretty good, pretty good.
There seems to be like a broader implication with your prompt that there's this domestic threat from mainstream left politicians.
There is.
Like, do you really think Hillary Clinton's like leading the Vanguard Revolution
Who do you
Party?
think?
Like,
Yeah, who do you think funds them? Who do you think funds them? Who do you think funds Antifa? Where do they get the money for the bricks? Where do they get the money for the masks? Where do they get the money for the flags and all the signs that they hand out? Where does it come from? Because we all know these people don't have money. Okay, they're getting it from somebody.
What is your take?
When you look at the violence that we do see, I describe it as from blunt to acute, which is with the fringe extreme right, you'll see extreme mass shootings. You'll see, someone will show up and they'll unload on people, things like that. On the left, though, you'll see riots, vandalism that you don't see from the right. But the point I'm making is that when you break down the ideology that motivates individuals that commit political violence, there is more often an overlap between what the Democratic Party espouses ideologically and what we see in street-level violence, as well as maybe assassinations, versus what the Republicans would espouse.
I mean, I couldn't disagree more. What ideologies that the Democratic Party is promoting that leads to these types of violence? Anytime you see an act of violence that's typically attributed to the left, it is immediately condemned by every Democrat politician.
Indeed.
You couldn't point to one that actually endorses that. Or you have somebody like Donald Trump, who's literally the president of the United States, saying that we should call for the death of congressional members who are fulfilling their civic duty and saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't fulfill illegal orders if you're in the military, and Donald Trump's asking for them to be put to death. How is that not inciting to violence?
No, that is,
Wait, who?
Absolutely terrifying.
Who's getting put to death?
My point more so is...
Wait, who? Wait, I just got back and I heard Donald Trump is putting people to death. Is he really?
Congressional members who are fulfilling their civic duty and saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't fulfill illegal orders if you're in the military, and Donald Trump's asking for them to be put to death. How is that not inciting to violence?
No, that's absolutely terrifying. I completely disagree.
Donald Trump wants to kill politicians?
My point more so is that when you see, say, the George Floyd or the BLM
What the
riots,
fuck? I love Trump
you
now.
end up with Biden and Kamala themselves promoting fundraisers for those accused of committing these crimes. During
Which
these riots,
which crimes could you point to?
So in Minnesota, you had there was a firefighter who opened a sports bar. It was burned down. In fact, when the local news went to interview him about his dream bar being burnt to the ground, it was ransacked. I don't think it was burned to the ground. They while they're filming the story, there were people looting a safe and stealing it.
Well, I think that there's absolutely a big difference between a lot of the private buildings or private enterprises that were targeted versus like public institutions like the police precinct. Like, you're somebody who, I've seen the iconography on your show. You're a big patriotic guy. You love 1776, right? That wasn't the most peaceful way that we had, criticizing our government or saying that tyranny shouldn't exist.
How long was the Revolutionary War
going
on before they signed the Declaration?
I will say that the police precincts, the same people who committed a brutal murder using state violence in order to justify that, I think we can understand why people would rightfully be mad without any accountability.
Which political party is in control of the police department in Minneapolis?
That is not the central... First of all, we're talking...
When this guy said murder, he means literally any time a police officer shoots somebody, justified or not. That's what he's referring to. It's very, very rare that a police officer just straight up murders somebody. That is not a very common thing.
About the mainstream political left. Which politicians are endorsing that type of behavior?
Never said politicians were endorsing it.
Then what's the mainstream left?
So you have activists whose ideology aligns with politicians who are
You'd say that those
votes.
Activists identify with the Democratic Party, the
No,
ones that
I
are
would say
committing
that
violence.
the Democratic Party courts
Because let
their
me
vote.
tell you, the leftists that you could talk to...
What are they doing in the back? So once a certain amount of them raise their flag to say that, like, they want to speak, right? Or they've heard enough of this guy speaking, right? This guy has to get out of the chair. That's what's going on with the little flag. So once like a certain number of them fill up the rage bar, a quick time event happens, and this guy's got to get out of the chair.
Party in favor of Black Lives Matter?
I would say, yeah. I'd say even most moderates. I'd say actual moderates,
Absolutely.
not right-leaning conservatives who
Were-
claim to
were
be
the- were
moderates.
the riots
Usually
based
those
off
people
of-
also agree that police violence is something that should be
Were
discouraged.
the riots Black Lives Matter motivated?
They were motivated.
Tim, look
By
out!
Black Lives Matter.
Tim, look
So
out!
that
There's a black girl.
ideology is espoused by
No,
Run!
My point is
Black
this.
Lives Matter is not encouraging violence. Black
say
Lives
they were.
Matter is recognizing systemic inequality
Never said
where
they
it
were.
happens.
They were
Do
telling
you
people
say
to go
okay?
vote,
So
and I'm
Tim
saying
Pool
that-
is getting like ran down by like 20 blacks. Do you help him? We help Tim Pool if he's getting assaulted by 20 blacks. That's a poll question. Do we save Tim Pool from the from the wad? From the wad. Is WOG with an H? I don't even remember.
There are violent individuals. And with the riots, a lot of them, which we've seen.
Can you tell me
how
who
about this?
Tell me who Chris Ray is. Do you know who Chris Ray is?
Explain it to me.
Well, you have a show talking about politics every day. I would think that you know. But Chris Ray was the former...
Let's not do this. If you have a point to make, let's make a point. Let's not try and play these games.
So Chris Ray was the former FBI director under Donald Trump's first term.
Yep.
He said that he even agreed with the findings from both the congressional research session that right-wing violence is way more proliferate in this country than left-wing violence.
That's not meaningful to a voter. Let me explain. The Republican Party rejects
literally
neo-Nazism,
the
correct?
fucking the studies that this Redditor, this fucking Redditor is quoting are doctored. They are not even real studies. They don't count pretty much any acts of left-wing violence as political violence or left-wing violence. In fact, oftentimes, they'll take their own violence and blame it on us. They'll blame it on right-wingers or far-right people, which is fucking ludicrous, but hey, they got away with it. And now you gotta listen to these fucking people throw these statistics in your face that aren't even real. They're not even real. None of these people do any sort of background check information and whatnot. Do you remember, it was like a year ago, we looked at a statistic that was, we looked at a picture that was going viral online about gun violence. It was about gun violence. And at the bottom of the picture, where it was giving statistics on gun violence, was a URL where it was sourced from. We went to the URL, and it wasn't even there. There was nothing. There was no stats at all. There wasn't even a link to stats. It was just a made-up image with a that had a source URL with nothing.
No, Donald Trump invited Nick Fuentes to have dinner with him, with Kanye West.
So tell me one politician who went out and campaigned for the neo-Nazi vote.
I'm blanking on his name, but Gozar in
Is that a
in
mainstream
Arizona.
view in this country?
Well, we could talk about Gozar, we could talk about Matt Gaetz, we could talk about...
Matt Gaetz is not endorsing neo-Nazism. And Donald Trump
Are
said
you kidding me?
Nazis should be condemned entirely.
No, he's literally partnering with the America First movement. He was
America
chosen...
First and neo-Nazism are totally different.
Bro, so you don't think do you think Nick Fuentes is a neo-Nazi? I forgot, you've had him on your show. Oh my God, I literally forget.
I wouldn't describe
dude,
Nick
this
Fuentes
guy
as a
is
neo-Nazi.
fucking retarded.
You don't think that Nick Fuentes celebrating Adolf Hitler is not neo-Nazi adjacent?
I think you have to be very...
Oh, it's adjacent. Oh, okay, it's adjacent. Oh, I see. Okay. So it's not literally the same thing. Okay. I gotcha.
Specific on what your terms are. And so when you go to an American voter and say something like...
This is our moderate, by the way, everybody. This is our moderate.
Indeed.
Keep going.
So when you go to a regular American and ask them what is meaningful to them in terms of an election, you don't have Democrats or Republicans endorsing violence. But you also don't have... Charlie Kirk's a good example. He threw out Nick Fuentes. He threw out white identitarians, white nationalists from his events. They were not welcome. That's mainstream. You don't have riots coming from the Republican Party and the right, although you do have January 6th and things like that. When you take a look at the shootings of the Tesla facilities, the execution of Aaron Danielson, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and one of the attempted assassinations on Donald Trump, not the Pennsylvania one, you can see the underlying ideologies overlap.
So when somebody who's like really based, when somebody who's like really based tells you that they were like sad about Charlie Kirk, or that, you know, you should respect Charlie Kirk, just remember, he fucking hated you, and he literally wouldn't allow you to attend his little debate things, okay? He would throw you out of his TPUSA. You'd get thrown out, okay? You were not welcome.
The Democratic Party. When you take a look at like Nick Fuentes, he's opposed to the Republican Party. He's been actively endorsing Democrats right now.
He's been saying that the Republican Party is too left for him. It's not that he's opposed to the Republican Party in principle.
This is literally my point.
No,
Nick Fuentes comes out and says, do not vote for Trump. The mainstream Republican Party is at odds with these people.
No, again, if you're looking at all of the empirical data, the violence is way more on the right.
But
so
that's not
you can say what your feelings are. You can say that.
That's not my feeling nor the claim.
No,
it is not meaningful to a voter to say we don't like neo-Nazis and white supremacists.
Tim, it's not even real.
It's not saying they want to white America.
The data is not even
real. The violence is coming
what
from.
What he said
and
is
if it's
just
more
not
substantially coming from the right. That is a problem that needs to be tackled.
It's not coming from Charlie Kirk.
Okay,
Who
we're
was
not
killed?
talking about Charlie Kirk. We're talking
No,
about
we
the
are,
overall
We're
ideologies.
not. In fact, we're not.
So you're telling
That's
me
not my claim.
You're telling me that the prioritization of hierarchies, both ethnic, both cultural, that is not a dangerous ideology. But
never said
something like
that.
BLM that says, hey, maybe we should take back police violence. Maybe you should have
Oh, are we
accountability
gonna get a
for people
Foyd
who
next?
are in charge of certain aspects of our
dude, I can't wait to hear what
committing
fucking
violence
stupid
on
shit the
citizens.
Foyd has
Those
to
are
say.
absolutely completely different ideologies. And the fact that you're saying
they are
it is more
different.
motivating for violence, that the left wing is encouraging people to take those that are committing violence accountable,
In the
that
last 10
absolutely
years,
is not more.
there have been over 465 incidents of left-motivated political violence that aligns with the Democratic Party, and there's been one on the Republican side, which is January 6th, which admittedly is particularly egregious.
Nick
January
Fuentes
6th was-
isn't even
that's
that
what we talk about
extreme.
blunt versus acute.
He's just edgy.
Now the problem
That's
is,
all it
I already
is.
know
It's
whatever,
like he
all you're
just
gonna say,
makes
you're gonna
edgy
cite FBI
jokes. He
stats,
doesn't
but it's
actually
not
fucking.
meaningful to me or any voter
He's not
to
with
tell me why
us.
white supremacists are violent, because I don't like white supremacists, nor will I
But
vote
he
for them.
jokes
And more
about like the
importantly, you bring up
Holocaust
Nick
or like race statistics and stuff. That's all they are. They're jokes, right? Right. Find this. Damn, I see the image that I'm looking for, but I do not see the actual. Like, I see the micro for the meme, but I don't actually see the image I'm looking for. Change know your meme. Ah, here it is. Yeah, yeah, it's on Know Your Meme. Of course, it's on Know Your Meme. I know you Know Your Meme's at least somewhat based. But like, this is basically like America First. Like, this is literally the AF movement. Bro, I've been kicked out of Discords by groypers. Like, I went into John Doyle's Discord. I remember this, and I was just having some fun. I was shit posting and talking about how much I hate specific groups of people. But I literally got like kicked out of the Discord by a groyper reporting me to an admin for being racist. Okay, these people, these people are not on our side. Okay, yeah, that's AF right.
Fuentes, he is not aligned with Republicans, and he's advocated against them.
I think for somebody who
Republicans
has,
don't like him.
I think for somebody who has a political show where you talk about this stuff every day, you are completely misreading the conversation when you're saying that those that are engaged in like civil disobedience
When was that? It was a few years
are like
ago.
I'm not talking
Democrat
about civil
voters.
disobedience.
You're telling me
You're
that those
misframing
people
what
are
I'm saying.
canvassing for Democratic
Never
politicians,
said that.
which is
I'm
absolutely
actually,
not true.
Absolutely in favor of canvassing. I'm in favor of protesting.
I'm not saying that you're. I'm not saying that you're against that.
So
but I'm saying
don't try and frame my argument like
calling-
I'm upset with protests, because
No.
I've defended Black Lives Matter blocking streets. I've defended left-aligned progressive groups like anti-capitalist groups blocking streets and environmental groups. I stand with civil disobedience, and I've defended them every single time. If you want to block a road, there's
what
a
is it that you're
tolerance.
saying is more violent on the left?
Run 'em
You,
over.
you mentioned Black Lives Matter.
Let's
You
give a few
mentioned
examples.
these
Let's
protests.
talk about the Tesla facilities being unloaded.
They were
upon or
aiming a
shot,
gun at me,
right?
officer. I
These
had
are
no choice
motivated
but
by
to hit
an
the
ideology
gas.
that you will hear
I thought
from
it was
Elizabeth
one of
Warren.
them flashed a gun at me, officer. I had to.
Now, of course, she's not telling
I
people
feared
to shoot
for my
anybody,
life,
but she
officer.
is coming
I
out
had
saying
to get out of
Elon
there.
Musk is a dangerous threat to this country, and then you end up with someone going and pulling a rifle up and shooting up a Tesla.
When you understand that the right always says politicians are not responsible for individual actions.
What individual-
Elizabeth
what
Warren
actions?
saying, hey, maybe we should have the same sort of economic policies they have in Scandinavia.
Why was Aaron
that is not her
Danielson
encouraging, go shoot up a Tesla facility.
Why was
Where
Aaron
Donald Trump saying, let's hang the
Answer the
people,
question.
let's hang the people who encouraged those in the military to actually fulfill their
Again,
duties. That is completely.
My claim is not that the right is
He's
completely
the
innocent.
leader of the Republican Party, my dude.
And I
To say that
condemn-
these are equivocal at all is
I
completely
condemn
false.
100%
Wait.
what Donald
Wait a minute. Did you see that? Hold on.
about the Tesla facilities being unloaded upon or shot up, right? These are motivated by an ideology that you will hear from Elizabeth Warren. Now, of course, she's not telling people to shoot anybody, but she is coming out saying Elon Musk is a dangerous threat to this country.
Understand that the right always
This man's missing a hand.
says
What the fuck?
politicians are not responsible for individual.
Brother. Okay.
actions.
Oh, okay.
Elizabeth Warren
How
saying,
do you?
hey, maybe we should have.
He's got like a little foot. He's got like a foot for a hand. look at his little piggies. Yo, what the fuck is going on here? He gooned too hard? I was about to say, like, how do you read a book? If this guy's so well read, how does he read a book? He's so
the same sort of economic policies they have in Scandinavia.
Why was
that is not her
Danielson
encouraging, go shoot up a Tesla facility.
Why was
Where
Aaron
Donald Trump saying,
make fun of his hand,
the
Tim.
people, let's hang the people who encouraged those in the military.
It's a little. It's like he's always giving a thumbs up. God, I wonder why he's appealed to fucking being a communist. Wow.
To
I wonder what his
that is completely
motives would be. I wonder what
he's the leader of the Republican Party, my dude. To say that these are equivocable at all is completely
false.
false.
I condemn 100% what Donald Trump said, calling for the death of those politicians.
We have to move on.
Great to meet you, Tim.
Likewise.
If you'd like to be the next debater,
did he shake his hand with the little nub? Wait.
100% what Donald Trump said, calling for the death of those
Don't touch it,
politicians.
Tim. Don't do it.
We have to move on.
Great to meet you, Tim.
No, of course not.
Likewise.
Damn.
If you'd like to be the next debater, get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Dude, if I had a hand like that, when I shook somebody's hand, I'd make them shake my little nub hand. You know what I mean? Because fuck them. That's why.
Hello.
Hi.
What I find really interesting is the whole premise of like the Occupy Wall Street movement was to protest, right?
Indeed.
It was specifically geared towards making
Yeah, you'd be
sure
scared.
that
Yeah.
the
That's what I'd be
general
thinking too. I'd be like, oh, no, I don't want to touch that. But I'd make them. I'd make them touch it.
was understanding the situation at the time, which had a lot to do with anti-capitalist motives, right? And so when we're talking about who's more violent than who, we have to be very specific that the violence that is recorded in the data.
Okay, we have a
is
woman here
not
that's probably never been told no in her entire life. Let's see what
ideological
she's got.
violence.
Let's
It's
see how
not this,
fucked up
like,
in the head she
rhetoric.
is.
It has to be evidentiary. So if you're going to say like, oh, Black Lives Matter, and any leftists that are associated with that are automatically violent, that's just not the case.
I didn't say that.
But that's what you're implying.
No, I'm implying that when you have riots in this country, overwhelmingly, the underlying ideology aligns with the mainstream left ideology of this country.
But what you're saying in your prompt that you wrote is that the left is more violent than the right.
The mainstream political left commits more violence than the mainstream political right.
Right, the mainstream. And
Indeed.
what I'm trying to tell you is that the data is not showing that that is the actual evidence. If
It
you're
does,
talking,
actually.
no, it doesn't.
It does. My team has put together over 10 years
75
465
to
instances.
80% of violence, actual violence, that is being tracked as domestic terrorism comes from the right. It's white supremacist groups.
And white supremacists are not in a large political party getting voted for.
The 75 to 80% figure is broadly supported for fatalities from U.S. domestic terrorism since 2001, not for all incidences of violence tracked as domestic terrorism. Researchers reviews find right-wing extremists responsible for roughly 75 to 80% of domestic terrorism deaths. I want you to realize that under the Biden administration, probably under Obama as well, pretty much every right-winger, even like any Trump supporter, was considered a terrorist, okay? Biden said this, okay? Do you know how many times throughout the years I have had to hear a politician, some figurehead at the FBI or the CIA or literally the President of the United States say that I specifically am a terrorist, describing what group I belong to as like being a terrorist? But it's not just me. Okay? If it was just me, I would understand. But it's literally just like people that voted for Trump were literally labeled as terrorists, okay? So any violence that they committed would probably be counted, right? Like that's what they're counting. But even then, when you look at what they're counting, it's not, they're not counting their own instances of violence, and they're attributing their instances of violence to us, right?
Yes, they are. The
They're not.
Republican Party is very largely right-wing. It is very far right.
But they're not white supremacists, nor would,
Yes,
nor are
they
the
are.
Americans voting for Republican Party because they
What
want
do you
white
think
supremacy.
"Make America Great Again" means?
I think it means making the economy improve. I think it means
No.
building our cultural institutions. Well, you can
According to what time? According to what time? I'll give you that.
probably the 80s because Trump's an
Dead
old man.
Floyd strikes again.
I would say the 90s.
Seriously doubt he
90s
meant
were
the
great.
80s.
Very nice buzzword talking. But what do you think? What do you think? Make America means great again? Slavery? Oh, slavery? What about slavery?
Much older than the 80s.
Well, your interpretation of Donald Trump's opinions is separate from when we see a riot, what is motivating the riot? When we
his
see
opinions
an
lead his
assassination.
policies, don't they?
Indeed, and
Wouldn't you say that's what
no one
politics
here
is
is
all
making the
about?
claim that Donald Trump is innocent, nor does he not have individuals who would
But you're
engage in
attempting
violence
to
based
make
on
a
similar
claim
ideologies.
that his type of ideology that leads his policy is not nearly as violent as the left,
Well, how
which
many
is
riots have there been from the right?
largely anti-capitalist, which is largely anti-fascist. None of what you're saying makes any sense. It sounds like
It
you're
does.
honestly grifting a lot.
How many Republican riots have there been?
I don't know the
Is it
exact
one?
number.
Incomprehensible Floyd babble.
One in
But what are
January
you
6th, which is a
classifying as a
bad one.
riot? What? Because if you're
Let's say-
conflating
let's say-
protesting with rioting,
We're not.
that's a very different thing.
No, we're talking specifically about people ransacking Tesla facilities, vehicles, charging
You're
stations.
so obsessed with the Tesla thing. Why don't we actually
You don't.
talk?
Yeah, you're obsessed. Oh, Algo. He's obsessed, chat. Anyways, this disingenuous cunt is going to pretend like she even acknowledges the difference between a riot and a protest when it comes to her own people, right? Remember how they tried to sell us that the George Floyd riots were actually just a peaceful protest? Ignore the flames? Ignore the flame. It's actually really nice here.
I think it might be because someone took a rifle and started shooting up a building.
I don't know if Musk is like investing in your company or something, but let's like remove the Tesla out of it. That has nothing to do with what you're actually.
Did you see his like? Look at his reaction to this. Look at this.
Actually talk about.
I think it might be because someone took a rifle and started shooting up a building.
I don't know if Musk is like investing in your company or something, but let's like remove the Tesla.
He can't believe what he just heard either. That's fucking really funny.
Out of it, that has nothing to do with what your actual prompt is saying.
No, that's
It
actually what my
sounds-
claim is.
No, it sounds a lot like.
Well, then you're
you
arguing
decided-
He
No,
had a physical reaction to how dumb this bitch was.
arguing something else because it
I am
sounds
arguing
like you
something
went
else
from
from you.
somebody who was doing really important work in Occupy Wall Street to then
Which was what?
grifting all the way to defending
was the
far
important
right
work?
people. That's crazy.
What was the important work?
What important work?
You said I was doing
in terms of Occupy Wall Street,
Yes.
I think, you know, in terms of that movement, I thought it was it was one of the first times in our generation that we were able to see an actual organization against capitalism.
Can I ask you how old you are?
No,
And
you
the
cannot ask-
people that you now support, the people that you now watch, right? Let's go with Stephen Colbert. All right, we'll go with Stephen Colbert because I remember this happening. All right, the people that these fucking retards are watching nowadays and getting their political takes from are the same people who actively work to destroy Occupy Wall Street. Actively work. Stephen Colbert got a woman whose name was Ketchup to go on his show and say that she was a leader of the Occupy Wall Street movement, and then he proceeded to like make fun of her the entire time and make her look fucking retarded. Her name was Ketchup. Actively fucking like against you, actively working against what you were doing there, this thing you cared about so much, right? And now here we are 15 years later, 20 years later, and you watch the Colbert Report every night. You watch what is his show now? What the Late Show or whatever? I don't even know.
Were you politically active during Occupy Wall Street?
Yes, I was.
Did you follow the news about me during Occupy Wall Street?
Not specifically.
And the news was that Occupy denounced the violence. I had filmed leftists deflating police tires who physically attacked me, and I was attacked by a masked individual smacking my camera out of his hand. Occupy
so this is
Wall
a personal
Street
vendetta for you.
then
because
gave
a
me
single
indeed.
person or
If you're
small
getting
group of
emotional about
people-
this and you don't want to have an argument,
I'm not
that's
gonna-
fine.
Do I look emotional, guys?
You do
I feel pretty
because
relaxed.
You don't know what happened during Occupy, and your argument is off because you don't.
This honestly sounds like you have a personal vendetta.
You don't know anything
from your
because
history.
you're a fucking dumb. You're a dumb Floyd. You're a dumb Floyd who has never been told no. Probably works in an HR department.
Absolutely nothing with what your
Not an
actual
argument.
prompt is, which is
Not an
around
argument.
far-right people being much more violent than the
argument.
left.
We have to pause. Love the passion, but pause. All right. If you'd like to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2,
I would like it if you got off my screen.
You got it. Nice to meet you. How's it going?
Good. I think we should just get to the heart of it. Donald Trump is a fascist. He has Nazis in his administration. His entire messaging was resonating with Nazis from the very beginning. Donald Trump, when rallying for 2024, had a massive rally.
I want this Trump we were promised. I want
Madison Square Garden. What was the significance of that rally?
Where is this guy?
You tell me?
Yeah, it's the same place, same date as the Nazis in the 1940s. Literally. Donald Trump said that immigrants are poisoning the blood of America and their environment. Who also said that?
You tell me.
Hitler. Literally. Donald Trump has openly said things.
Excuse me?
In their environment. Who also said that?
You tell me.
Hitler. Literally. Donald Trump has openly said things as dog whistles. So you may say that it's not mainstream, but the entire ideology of the right speaks to those people.
Let me ask you, what do you mean by fascist?
Far-right, authoritarian, ultranationalistic, 14 tenets of fascism,
I mean,
all that.
there's a specific definition of fascist. Do you just mean that he's an authoritarian?
No, I mean that he meets all 14 tenets
EQ
of
plushies
fascism.
with little skull masks on them, right? And
You
stall
wanna go through all
helms.
14 points?
Ooh, and the stall helm like goes through the helmet. I mean, her hair goes through the stall helm helmet, right? That'd be kind of kino. That'd be fucking. I'd buy that. I'd buy that fucking
I'm trying to
plushie.
understand your argument, but so my point largely is we see people say Trump is a fascist, but there's, you know, if you go to an academic and you look at fascism, say Italy, there's a common
Mussolini.
argument that you have the merger of corporation and state as the defining element of what fascism is.
There's different forms of fascism, right?
Well, and that's the point. That's why I asked.
The actual premise is the authoritarian. Donald Trump is absolutely a fascist. He's, like I said, he has Nazis in his administration. I think we're shifting. Pete Hegseth.
How is Hegseth
He literally has a proud Nazi tattoo on his chest.
He does not.
Stephen Miller is absolutely a Nazi. Stephen
Hegseth
Miller
does not have a Nazi tattoo on his chest.
That's yeah.
No, he does
the
not. He
Cross
has
on his
a
chest?
Catholic cross on his chest.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Let's get it on screen for everybody. Pete Hegseth tattoo. Hey guys, is this a Nazi tattoo? Is that the heckin' Iron Cross? Big gasp. Big gasp. I didn't even know he's got a tattoo that says Deus Vult. That's funny. Oh my god. It's fucking these. Actually, Christianity is literally Hitler.
I mean, guys, look, I went to Catholic school when I was little. I left in fifth grade.
So
Pete Hegseth is not a Nazi.
Yeah, that's okay. Cool. Question for you: when Donald Trump and his administration specifically actually implement policies that go at the heart of what Nazis want,
Which
right?
is?
Targeting
Which is what?
the first group of people they target was the transgender community. Same things in Nazi. The actual Nazis specifically targeted.
They deserve it. Let's be real here, my nigga. They deserve it. They're weird. They act weird, bro.
People that weren't like them. There's been a persistent and consistent attack on undocumented immigrants, black people, women, anyone that's not a straight white male in America.
My principal claim is not that Donald Trump is innocent, nor perfect, nor good. My claim is that when you look at street-level violence, domestic terror, etc., you'll find more violence coming from the mainstream left as opposed to the mainstream
Look at this.
right.
They're kicking the black man out. They're kicking the black man out.
Point out,
I thought this was wholesome Chungus representation.
And we all condemn that.
Oh my God! Look how quickly.
Are a part of the mainstream right.
Oh, they're not.
They literally are.
Oh my God! Get out of the chair, nigger. Get out of the chair. Your time is done. You got to talk the least out of everyone.
Stands
All right,
where
we're
you
gonna
did
pause
on
here.
TV.
Thank you. You can return to your seat. You've been voted out.
Nice meeting you.
Sit down. White people are
And if you'd
speaking.
like to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
How's it going,
That was an easy grab. You're right
So there's
the first thing
literally
I'll say
no way that just happened. That's
I think it's a
crazy.
bit disingenuous to characterize all of the property damage committed during BLM as left-wing violence, because there are going to be rogue opportunists.
Agreed.
Opportunists during the biggest civil rights protests in American history. That's first and foremost.
They're holding them down.
The
Yeah,
second
man.
thing I would like to say is, I don't think
I
it
thought they
makes
were
sense
supposed to listen and
confine
learn when
political
black
violence
people speak.
strictly in the context of individuals acting with political motive violently. I think it ignores institutional violence. Theoretically, you could say the 1960s civil rights movement was more violent than the counter-protesters, but obviously the institutional violence of segregation.
I completely agree.
Right. So,
Yeah.
so what I would say is that
The
the
flag?
Republican
Oh, you mean the
Party
trans
is,
flag? That's the transformative flag for entertainment purposes only, right? It's so that they know they can't copyright strike me reacting to it. It's transformative.
and the mainstream
wholesome
political
chunk
right
is
far more
transformative.
violent because they support ICE ripping and separating families from one another.
It's
even for
transitioned into
people
my
who
content.
have no criminal
It's transitioned into my content.
background.
It
Even
identifies
ICE,
as mine
deaths
now.
under ICE custody has skyrocketed even as a matter of
yeah, absolutely.
war abroad, etc. But
Domestic.
go ahead.
I'd love to talk the war stuff. I'm a big foreign policy guy. But domestically, did this not happen during Barack Obama's administration?
It did, but not to the same extent.
Agreed.
And Barack Obama was criticized for it by who? The political left.
Agreed.
Right.
So my point is not to say again that there's no violence on the right, and I think the institutional argument is actually a good one. However, my view largely is when you look at Occupy Wall Street, for which I was there and I watched police instigate fights, or when I was on the ground during the protests on West Florissant Avenue, and I saw police throw a flashbang grenade at protesters who were not doing anything violent.
Good.
The issue is these police are under Democrat administration.
Get them out of the
still,
street.
where their chiefs are often appointed by Democrat politicians. So again, I understand the left and progressives.
That to me is also a little disingenuous because
true,
it's
though.
not as though the police, as a matter of its institution, is
If they're
a
blocking the
left-wing
street, they are
institution.
being
No, it's
violent.
in fact-
They're being violent. It's violent. It's an assault on my wallet. I can't get to work and earn a living.
Usually, the police are protecting and on the other side.
You
of
want to make
left-wing
the argument
protesters.
that ICE
Specifically
under
here in-
Trump, I'll make the argument of police under the Democrats.
Sir, well, I don't know. Well,
Which is it? Does
that's-
law enforcement
so
defer to their
ICE
politicians or not?
It depends. Because ICE is an executive agency, they do.
And the police
operate
department in
command
Minneapolis
post.
is
man,
under
shit.
the
You
Democrats.
gotta drink a
yes.
gallon of
And
water
we all
a day.
agree that there's problems there.
But they're criticized and often on the other end of left-wing protesters. So, for instance, the protests
Agreed.
against ICE here in Los Angeles, it's usually against left-wing.
gotta
what is
start
it,
piss
left-on-left
maxing.
violence. Is that what you're claiming?
Sometimes, yes, absolutely.
You think police protesting against or committing violence against left-wing
Yes.
protesters? It's left-on-left violence, really?
Yes.
I think that's ridiculous and absurd.
The
on its
police
face.
who live in
But-
these cities tend to be more moderate, but they're not hard conservatives.
But is the
And-
institution is
and the
policing as an
institutions,
institution a
particularly
left-wing institution?
in New York? Well, I would define a left-wing institution.
Exactly.
What I would say
Exactly.
is Democrat
Curious to what the
politicians are
comment
the ones
section looks
appointing
like.
these
Actually,
police
that's
chiefs
a
and these
good-
administrations.
I'm curious too now that you've said it. Yes, noted moderate Tim Pool. What a joke of a title. They're not happy. Oh, they're never happy. Nobody's ever happy when they give literally anyone a fucking platform that isn't Hassan Piker. They're never happy. You can never appease these people. They're literally trying to like fact check him in real time to like stand in solidarity and be like, look at how fucking retarded this stupid fucking moderate is. Oh my god. I can't believe he doesn't believe what we believe. Isn't that crazy, Jubilee viewers? And then you go down here and literally the most updated comment, the very first one that shows up is them shitting on Jubilee for even just allowing him to come on. It's all the same fucking thing. Do these people have a single original thought in their fucking head? It's literally the top comments are all the same fucking thing. Oh my god.
who are enacting
Right.
these policies.
But are they-
So when you're voting for someone into office, this is not conservatives doing it. It's not mainstream right-wingers putting in police that beat protesters.
But who politically supports the police as a matter of their rhetoric and ideology?
Indeed,
the right or the left?
The right. But the
okay,
right,
so
the right
then you
doesn't live in
admit-
these places.
Yeah, but
nor
you-
do they appoint
but-
these
You're
people.
all sharing a
Don't
brain
tell
so
me
long,
that
you're
ICE
so
under
right.
Donald Trump, but not police under Democratic politicians.
Hold on. The left doesn't appoint protesters who commit random acts
I
of violence
completely
against
agree.
property.
That's not my argument.
I know, but earlier you were making the case that it's the ideology that motivates what these rioters are doing, and that's the reason why the left is ultimately responsible.
What I would say is the
can I just-
underlying
can I just-
ideology is overlapping with the Democratic Party.
Sure, and so what I'm saying is that if you want to be consistent, the underlying ideology that supports the police and as a matter of institution, and when the police are cracking down on left-wing protesters, that's overwhelmingly on the side of conservatives.
Except
So
they're
by
not
your
in
very
power
logic,
in
that
these
should be-
places, and you're applying a locality to the nation,
they
which
may
doesn't
not
make
they,
sense.
they may not be like technically
The
in
police
power,
are not
but, like,
motivated
I
by the
don't know- I don't
Republican Party to
understand-
go out under a Democratic mayor to arrest protesters.
The problem is that the police is still, as a matter of institution, is more of a right-wing institution than a left.
Certainly,
one.
even-
and
even
they're
in
usually
Democratic
on the other
cities.
side.
Having a police force is a right-wing idea. We would never have a police force in our ultimate communist utopia.
The point is,
Uh-huh.
a police
Sure.
officer who goes out in New York and arrests
Sure.
a protester does so at the behest of a Democratic politician.
I don't think
Pause.
It's true.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please
Nice
return
meeting
to
you.
your seat. All right, if you'd like to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Oh my God.
Listen.
Oh yeah. I haven't been young for a minute.
Now slow down with that. Listen,
Oh,
I
all
think
right.
it's really quick. The
Oh,
I
did it?
condemn.
So the Jew won't shake his hand. He's gotta show everyone else that he's committed to the cause. He won't even shake this guy's hand. All right,
Condemn, I
Jew-fro.
condemn is a
What
really
else you
cheap
got to
cop
say?
out. That's not going to work.
It's not an argument.
Because the people around us are not low IQ, like your average viewer. It's important to recognize.
Make an argument.
So I'm about to.
You don't
Wow,
have
a
one?
lot of
Is
ad
that-
homs getting thrown off immediately. This guy does not like Timmy Boy.
Edit.
I'm
If you
about
want to be insults, we can go for insults and
I'm about to.
we can rap.
I'm about to.
You wanna rap?
Just stop delaying my time. So it's important to recognize that simply I condemn is not sufficient when the Republican Party has created a
You will
permission
not touch the
structure
goyle,
for individuals
yeah.
to go out and do violence
Like what?
against, I'm about to tell you, with
go.
impunity. Immigration and Customs Enforcement is a good example.
Law
Trump
enforcement.
The Trump administration, they
Through an
violated,
electoral process.
you know they lost in the courts 10,000 times, right?
That's not true.
It is true. Politico actually released a
10,000
report on it.
times.
Yeah, they lost 10,000
I'm
times
sure it
in the
would be
last
like
year.
10,000
They murdered
and three.
numerous American citizens. And guess what happened to the individuals that carried out those killings? What happened to them?
What happened to him?
Have they been prosecuted? Any investigations? Do you know?
I believe they have not.
Why? It's almost as if when you commit violence,
You're wrong.
You're going to be protected. That's what's going
my
on.
God,
That's why Christian
Politico.
went out and said that Alex Preddy was a
People still
domestic
use
terrorist. That's why
Politico? I
Stephen
thought
Miller
that
said
was
the
a
same
defunct
thing.
website.
And everybody in the entire Republican Party apparatus is echoing those talking points. Because whenever there's violence, they don't condemn it. They condone it, they congratulate it, and they pardon it.
Law enforcement, duly elected by a population that voted in plurality for ICE to go out and engage in these
Kill American
behaviors.
citizens?
Which sometimes, yes, absolutely. And
Oh, they voted for ICE to kill American citizens, really?
yes. Do you?
They're average.
Kill American citizen. Yeah, well, when you pull a gun on an officer of the law, yeah, he kind of has the right to kill you, brother.
Republican, I don't think they're that
Who
crazy.
said the average Republican would vote? But do you not believe that there are people in this country that would vote for ICE to harm people?
Is this your argument?
Do you believe?
This is terrible, Tim.
So you think not a
This is so
single
bad.
person in this country wants to harm
What's
illegal
the
immigrants?
relevance? We're talking about the fact that there is a top-down approach by Republicans like Donald Trump.
Can I ask you the question
to
again?
Justify
Can you answer?
murder
Can you answer the
and
question?
allow it to happen, foment violence in this country?
Can you answer
and
the
you're running
question?
cover for it
Can
as
you?
a moderate.
Actually, you just did.
No, I didn't.
See,
I actually
I'm
condemn
pointing out.
ICE violence. You're saying that people vote for it or whatever.
You don't think that there are white supremacists voting for ICE to go and harm migrants?
Are you saying that white supremacists voted for Donald Trump so they could kill migrants?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good to know that white supremacists make up part of the Republican Party and Donald Trump's doing their bidding.
Yes, I certainly believe they do.
My God, brother.
The initial claim that I'm making is that there is absolutely violence on the right. I already agree with one of the previous debaters.
It's guilt by association. Yeah, basically what it is. The Goyim. They really do think that you're fucking stupid. Okay, they really do. Look at this fucking guy. He comes out here, disrespects him, won't shake his hand, fucking won't even let him talk, and then just lies through his fucking teeth. Unreal.
There's institutional violence from the right as well. The best argument against my claim actually is that the right, when they get levers of power, will use law enforcement as their vehicle for the violence that they want to engage in. Those things are all fair. My point is that we are not
That's
seeing...
a nice, long, drawn-out concession. Thank you for...
But it's not a concession because maybe
The
we
left
agree.
literally did the same thing.
Okay.
See, I think...
Wait, didn't you say the modern political left...
When Joe was in office, they were using the FBI and the police department to kill Republicans. Literally were. Distinctively, I remember the 70-year-old man that they sent the FBI to his house because of a Facebook post. And they killed him. Shot him dead.
It's more
for a
violence than modern
Facebook
political
post.
rights, and now you're saying...
FBI raid, they drove their car through his front window. First off. Okay? This is how this started. That was the first that was the first thing they did. And then afterwards, they killed him.
There are riots coming from the left does not mean they're morally right
A
or
fucking
wrong,
man with a
or does not
cane
mean the right is better or
over
worse.
a Facebook
This is a
post.
statement about volume of violence that we see and a meaningful issue to a voter as to what is the underlying motivation that we see pushing violence in this country. So when you have ICE going out and engaging in these actions...
This is like a Clarence Thomas level of interpretation with that prompt. That is not what you're saying.
I don't know why you're trying so hard to disagree when we actually have common ground.
Pause, we are out of time. Thank you.
Nicotine, the ultimate biohacker secret weapon, has made a wild comeback. But why is that clean lifestyle still fueled by big...
I love nicotine. I do love me some nicotine. I never considered myself a biohacker, though. That's... Dude, they can sell this... They can sell anything to these fucking people if they make them feel smart for it. Oh, you're a biohacker. You're using nicotine? You're a biohacker. You're a biohacker.
Nicotine, the ultimate
I wanna see
biohacker
this.
secret weapon, has made a wild comeback. But why is that clean lifestyle still fueled by big tobacco's chemical-laden slop?
Oh, but you don't...
For those who switch out...
You don't want the... You don't... Slop! They just called my cigarette slop. These fuckers, dude. Oh, you don't want it... You don't want it the... Dude, it's literally tradition versus modernity. It's tradition versus modernity right here.
LEDs for incandescence, source raw milk, and read every single label. It's time to stop compromising.
Yeah, chew on the... Hit your vape, bro. Yeah, dude. It's so much cooler than smoking a cigarette. Use your vape. Suck on a fucking little packet. Suck on my packet.
The nicotine solution that actually complements a clean routine. This family-owned company manufactures a superior nicotine lozenge right here in the
suck
USA.
Suck on my knick-knack.
Affectionately known as a lip brick,
fucking
this fully
goy.
dissolvable option is crafted
You stupid,
with
you
just 6
biohacker.
premium ingredients, including real essential oils for authentic flavor. There are no pH adjusters, no plastic pouches, and absolutely no waste. Available in 3 and 6 milligram strengths, this is nicotine perfected. Reject
It's nicotine perfected, chud.
the compromise and raise the standard. Go to
Yeah,
knickknack.com/surrounded
smart liberals
and use
take
code surrounded
knick-knack.
for 20% off. Or use the store
Biohackers
locator to find knickknacks
use
near
knick-knack.
you. Warning: this
Smoking a
product
cigarette,
contains nicotine.
that's
Nicotine
slop.
is an addictive chemical.
Tradition versus modernity. Choose your fucking side, William. The Democratic Party has embraced authoritarianism. I don't know. I feel like that's pretty much all I want to see of this. What about you guys? Are we enjoying this, or should I continue, or should I end the pool slop? The Jubilee slop. You're enjoying this? No. Continue? Okay.
My next surrounded
Okay,
claim
we'll keep
is that
going.
the Democratic Party has embraced authoritarianism.
If you'd like to be the first debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
That was fast. Nice to meet you. Let's start off not by, oh God, don't make me defend Republicans, but let's go.
All right, let's talk about authoritarianism.
Yeah.
What does an authoritarian government do?
So it's typically, and particularly in my claim, it's a reference to suppression of dissent, suppression of speech, control of voting, or manipulation of voting for the
Did you
power.
after a second? No, I promised I'd quit.
Let's just call it control by a particular group of
let's
politically
take those
or
claims one at a time.
Yeah.
First, on suppression of speech.
Indeed.
Just
Even
a
though
few
I
hours
really
ago
don't want
today,
to.
Trump subpoenaed reporters for trying to report accurate information on the war in Iran.
Wow,
He said,
that's
Yo,
that can't
wait a minute.
happen.
Awful.
That's way more authoritarian.
And they call
than what
me
we're
a
seeing on the
fucking.
left here.
Well, I mean, if
They call me an incel. What the fuck is this, bro? I don't even know. I don't even know what to like relate this to. He's like an amalgamation of like multiple disgusting characters from movies I've seen. You know what I mean? Like he's like three people merged. He's like three ugly guys merged into one. This is crazy. It's the future leader of Agartha? I don't think so, brother. I think we can do better.
When President Trump is trying to stifle speech.
Wait, can you give any example of Biden doing anything even comparable to that?
I can. We can start with Alex Berenson, who is currently in a lawsuit because the Biden administration personally went to social media platforms using his name to be suspended for his reporting on COVID vaccination and mandates.
Okay. At a top level, though, who's doing the majority of the actual suppression of speech here?
I don't really have good words for the Republican Party, to be honest. My issue with this debate is, in fact, what we're seeing right now is that I'll make a claim about the Democratic Party, which has done awful things, and the immediate response is, but the Republicans. And I don't like Republicans.
Here's the thing. We live in a two-party system.
Correct.
Right? We can have this great grift of oh, well, the Democrats are bad, but we can, and the Republicans, they might be worse, but the Democrats are still bad. But the option is between Democrats or Republicans.
Yes.
So if Republicans are worse, it doesn't really matter if Democrats are slightly bad.
No, I think Democrats are worse.
We don't love Democrats, but we feel that Republicans are way worse.
To be honest, what he's saying about the two-party system is kind of true, right? Like he does have a point. Like being this guy that being the guy that's like, well, I'm not gonna support either of them, right? When I go and vote, I don't even think about it. I don't even read who it is. I don't do any research. I just vote straight Republican, conservative across the board. Across the board. I don't think about it. That's it. Build third parties. It's never gonna happen, dude. It's never gonna happen. Ever. Ever. And the kind of change I want, I won't even get out of doing that. Like, we're past the point of being able to fix the situation with the system that we have. It's just the option that is presented to you is slow decline or fast decline, right? And you need to make the decision, right? Slow or fast, slow or fast. I'm going to go with slow. Because there is a chance that if we can continue to get Democrats run out of office, and we have 2-3 decades worth of Republicans winning consistently, you will start to see more extreme fucking stances being openly talked about, right? That's kind of the thought process for me personally. Now, is voting actually going to do anything? No, I'm not telling you have to go vote harder, but that's just the logic that I have for it, right?
Institute these far more authoritarian policies.
It's hard to quantify more.
Sometimes Winston votes third party or write in a name to protest vote. Well, you're not doing anything, brother.
Quantification here.
Doesn't do anything. Voting third party in the U.S. is just not. It's never gonna work.
American citizens killed by immigration enforcement under, say, Obama.
But it's way less than the amount of American citizens killed by Barack Obama.
No,
it is. Yes, it is.
Okay,
Well, look, I don't want to be disrespectful, but one of the biggest issues to me is the extrajudicial assassination of Abdurrahman al-Awlaki by the Obama administration.
The average normie has been mind raped
when I was very anti-war, very lefty, still anti-war,
voting one way or the other,
and voted for Barack Obama, and then he murdered.
Are you in favor of the war in Iran?
Absolutely not. And Barack Obama killed a 16-year-old American citizen who was at a civilian restaurant in Yemen.
We can play
These are
this
all
game.
bad
we can
things.
be like, oh well, both parties are pretty bad. But like, we have to, when they go to the ballot office, when I go to the ballot office as a voter, I have to actually put in a vote. I have to decide Democrat or Republican or throw my vote away and vote for some third party.
Libertarian.
Right? If I'm picking between those and there's one candidate who just brought us into a war in Iran, is causing this massive conflict, tons of human suffering, that's foreign. That's foreign policy. Domestically, we see ICE attacks on American citizens. We see 56 people dying in ICE detention camps in just a singular year. You compare that to under Obama, the deporter-in-chief. Across 8 years, 52 people died.
More accidental deaths.
Way fewer. What we're seeing is dangerous conditions domestically. Way more people are dying. Right? We have a lot of this like qualitative discussion. You bring up a
guy
lot
needs to
of
take a nap.
anecdotes,
Dude,
but
he's
if
not
you're-
napping. Brother. This guy's on SSRIs. He's probably got Adderall in his system. He probably just slammed a monster. He needs all the energy he can get. He's going against the Tim Pool, okay? Look how much energy. He had to prep, dude. Took his prep.
Actually, like, quantify the number of deaths that are occurring through these authoritarian mechanisms, it's very, very clear that when I vote, I'm choosing the lesser of two evils and voting Democrat.
Let's talk about a few structures of authoritarianism. We'll go with 2016. And you brought up Donald Trump subpoenaing these journalists, so we'll get broad on this one. In 2016, Gizmodo published an article that Facebook had been suppressing news and information from conservative outlets. This is Gizmodo. They're a progressive outlet. In fact, I worked for the company that owned them, and I was a Bernie supporter in 2016. And so agreeing with this reporting and knowing the reporters behind it, I reported this. NBC News, all of these major institutions then claimed I was a right-wing conspiracy theorist.
Here's the thing.
Let me finish. For claiming that these things were happening that they reported on. Then what we learned is that under Obama, under Obama and under Biden, and don't get me wrong, this was under Trump as well, there was an active effort from the FBI. They were given a backdoor access to Twitter and Facebook to remove content that they thought objectionable to the government, and it was not done at the behest of Trump or for his benefit, but to the benefit of those who had been defending him in the press. So notably myself, who was calling out these censorship practices, I was falsely slandered and maligned by the media over this.
Thank you, yes.
These are institutions. Now, when you say that Donald Trump is mad at them, I agree, subpoenaing journalists, depending on the issue, can be bad. But to see that from Obama through Trump and into Biden, they were actively given access. This is a violation of the Fourth Amendment.
Tim,
it's a violation of the First Amendment.
We're missing something really important. We're lumping
You know,
together
well,
all
there
of
is
these
something
different
really
types.
important here that no one's really thought about, but so he supported Bernie Sanders in 2016. That means, I guarantee you, he made contributions to political parties, right? I guarantee you he was donating. So if you watched a Tim Pool video in 2015, 2016, you gave Bernie Sanders money. You did. In an inadvertent way, in this weird nebulous way, where you were getting Tim was reading you the news. By doing that, you actually were supporting Bernie Sanders. Isn't that kind of crazy to think about? I'm sure a lot of people here probably watched Tim Pool during that time frame.
Of sort of suppression of speech, but there's a fundamental difference. When we see like left-leaning suppression of speech, often that happens from like a bottom up, where you see some company taking an action.
No, I gave you a specific example of the Biden administration going to a major big tech company, giving them specific instructions to remove people who are saying naughty words.
We saw that in the context of COVID, where vaccination was really, really important. In fact,
That's
800,000
authoritarianism.
lives were saved by vaccines. We have a really strong
You can give me
historical
every
precedent.
reason for why you want to be an authoritarian. They always have a reason, and
there's-
saving lives is always one of them.
There's a fundamental difference between suppressing free speech on, say, the war in Iran, where there's really bad stuff going on and we need to talk about it, and, say, spreading vaccine misinformation. In the U.S., we've had really long
You have a
precedent.
moral
Look at
opinion
Schneck versus
on the
United
differences of
States,
importance, and
right?
that's fine.
Clear and present danger test has
But
been
we're
well
talking
established.
about authoritarianism has many different reasons. Did you think that all the tyrants of the world never gave a reason
Oh,
as to
the
why
vax
they
did
needed
it
absolute
to 'em.
authority?
I
They always
see.
did. And they always do. And even today it's the case, whether it's
Imagine
Trump or anybody
how-
else. So when Biden's administration
Imagine what he looked
said,
like
because
pre-vax.
COVID misinformation kills. We will silence you. That's authoritarianism.
Before he got his 12th
You can argue
booster.
that you agree with it, but it still is authoritarianism. How about we can use Cuomo in New York as an example? He shut down churches in violation of the First Amendment, and when he was sued and lost, he issued a secondary executive order changing the words to keep the churches closed. That is authoritarianism. And you right now defending it is my point. I have no problem saying Trump should not go after journalists, but you seem to have a problem saying the Democratic administrations should not be doing what they're doing as well.
Okay, pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Yeah.
If you'd like to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Oh my god, dude, we have some
Please
fucking
get to the
specimens.
chair in 3,
Dude.
2,
Yo.
1.
Long distance from back.
You made it. I'm surprised you made it.
So one of the key parts about authoritarianism is influence over elections. And
Agreed.
we've seen that throughout the history of right-wing and left-wing, the right-wing side of this country has constantly been election deniers.
He's not Indian, by the way.
Famously, Trump tried
That's
to
just, I'm
find
pretty sure
votes
that's
in
just a
Georgia
pimple.
to win the 2020
Or a mole.
election.
In an
Now we're
unfortunate
seeing that they're
place.
planning voter fraud in the city of Los Angeles mayor's race.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How many presidential elections in the last 20 years were denied by Democrats?
Were denied by Democrats?
Yeah, by mainstream members of Congress going on the floor, rejecting it.
None.
All of them.
Do you see the Democratic Party trying to create an alternate slate of electors to actually try and overturn
that's a different
democratically
argument.
elected?
Certainly a different argument, but no, that was in, I think that would have been 1960, but certainly not in the last 20 years. So we can completely agree Trump's efforts in 2020 were substantially different from, say, a handful of members of Congress and high-profile personalities coming out and saying the election is illegitimate. But I will say, while it is not particularly mainstream, there actively are groups across social media that believe the election was stolen. Just go on Threads for any.
It is
for a few
mainstream,
minutes.
though. Literally every fucking Democrat was talking about how Trump stole the election both times he won. Literally both times he won. They were talking about how Trump stole the election through with the help of Russia or fuck, what was the recent one? What did they say for the recent one? What was the cope with that? I don't remember what their cope was for when he went up against Kamala. But yeah, every time there's a presidential race, well, like they do the thing. They do the it was stolen, it was illegitimate, recount, revote. You know, it happens literally every time, man.
You will
You're
see
right.
tons of progressives arguing the election was stolen.
Tons of bots. You know, I'm really
Well, if
big
you don't
believer
think
in
they're
the
real
dead
people,
internet
that's
theory.
fine. I agree with the internet theory, actually.
So look,
But so then-
if
so
you're
then
talking
that-
about the
that
right
narrative
versus the
exists.
left, overall, again, we are talking about the overall picture here. Where is the majority of this coming from?
Well, let me ask you a question. You mentioned California. I want to ask you a question. Let's say there's an election that takes place, and a ballot comes in 3 days after that election. It's
They used
signed
Russia
with a
again?
picture
No
of Mickey
way.
Mouse, and it's hand dated. Do you think that is a real vote?
So guess what? In California, when you don't have a correct signature, you can do this thing called ballot curing, where you take that ballot back to the voter and you say, is this really you? And you have to get that signature again.
But
in that
I
case,
asked you a
I
question.
don't think they registered with the Mickey Mouse signature.
Well, that's actually legal in California. In fact, the example given, I think, in Santa Barbara is a Kirby star image. Now, the challenge with this is, and that's why I'm not a fan of the fraud argument from Republicans. Just stop saying fraud. This is legal in California. In California, you can draw a picture of Kirby star in any manifestation. Now, the problem is signatures are supposed to be unique to an individual because they would be falsifiable. Meaning, I've never seen your signature before. How can I match it? But if you sign up, register to vote with a picture of Kirby, anyone in the world can draw that picture of Kirby. So in California, the challenge that
Yeah, but
I
not
see-
everybody has the same name, the same social security. I mean, yeah,
No, but the point is, if a ballot is received by a homeless shelter, anyone can fill it out and draw a picture of Kirby Star.
There's a limited number of ballots that get sent to registered voters who are registered with the state.
Well, it's
and go through a
universal mail-in
process.
voting. And for instance, there was a homeless shelter in Venice Beach that received 185 mail-in votes despite no one living there. And so,
Yes, because
again,
people that live on the street have addresses registered to shelters because
completely
they don't have
agree.
anywhere else to get mail.
And so what we've already seen is undercover video showing that activists do go to places like Skid Row and secure voter registration, where in one video, a man who's clearly not a woman says his name is Teresa, sure, he'll fill it out. Now, the problem is that man man will fill this out under the name Teresa. He will sign, he'll put an X, a mark, which is legal in California. The other issue is that ballots can be received. So it gets complicated, but in California, if a ballot is received before the election, it can be hand-dated. If it's received after the election, it has to be post-dated. However, a ballot can only be rejected if two independent officials can prove beyond a reasonable doubt it has violated one of these tenets. So I do take issue with Republicans saying voter fraud all the time when it's legal to do this in California. But I think if you go to a regular American and say, you ask him this question, and I'll ask you this question, how did Nithya Raman surpass Karen Bass, both Democrats in mail-in votes, only after Election Day?
Because young people vote later, and Nithya Raman won the young vote.
Well, the truth is that the DSA on their website advocates for ballot harvesting, which is legal, and they're allowed to do it, and more power to them. It's very smart.
So do the Republicans. They go to senior centers all across the country and get
We're going to
Republican
pause
votes.
here. You've been voted out by the majority. You can head
They literally just fucking get a shit ton of votes sent to them, and then they fill it out with, like, nonsense. They don't have to prove citizenship, which means that there is no vetting process to count a vote. You could write down fucking... You could say your name was Adolf Hitler, and write and just fucking vote for whoever you want, and they would count it. They would count it. It's the same reason why they allow illegals to vote in these blue states. They do. And they go around and they pay homeless people $5 or something like that to fill out fucking forms, to fill out the voter forms. Just what they do, man. We had that video of the CNN on CNN. It was on literally the video on CNN. Let's go look at that. Can I find this again or no? I don't know if I'll be able to find this again. I might have to go to Twitter bookmark. Because if on YouTube it's just showing me nothing but CNN videos. Where are my... Why is it called history? What? Ah, yeah, here it is. Yeah, I found it. Check this out.
The only ballot drop box in Cuyahoga County, Ohio.
Okay, so this is the only ballot. This is a ballot drop box. Okay.
This woman right here casting her vote. Did you vote for Reagan or Jimmy Carter? Carter. Okay. We don't want to get too personal with people here, but you can.
So she's very obviously already shoved. She's shoved two in. Right. There's one ballot. There's another one going in. This entire stack is fucking. Are ballots. This entire stack in her hand. They're all ballots. And they immediately pan away because they don't want to show that, oh my god, wait a minute, she's voting multiple times. Immediately pan away. Then you have all the other fucking proof that's come up, but there you go. That's the first one I thought of because it was so recently and that you saw
talking
it.
with you.
If you'd like to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
No contest. Likewise.
Elections, as you were talking about the other person before, I think are sacred. I think elections are sacred, and I believe that they are the most fundamental thing to American values and democracy. We have never seen, ever in American history, the attempt to subvert a free and fair election compared to how Donald Trump and his cronies did on January 6th.
They literally did, and they did it in the very first election. They did it in literally the very first election. The first election of the United States, the election to get George Washington to be president, there was a active scheme to get George Washington elected, ensure that he became the president of the United States. Undeniable. It's undeniable. Hold on.
The first U.S. presidential election in 1789 was very different from the way Americans do presidential elections today. In 1789, there were no official candidates. There was no campaigning for the office. There were no political. So remember, there are two stages of electing the president. First, you get the electors, and then the electors choose the president. So the electors were going to meet and choose the president on February 4th. In the run-up to that electoral college vote, some political figures in the country were trying to organize a system where they would make sure that Adams didn't get as many votes as Washington. And the most prominent figure in this movement was Alexander Hamilton. He was writing a ton of letters to different people. He was not the only one involved with this. There were a few others also who were writing letters to different states, writing to the different electors saying, make sure you don't vote Washington Adams. Make sure there are some guys, there who are going to vote for somebody besides Adams. So if you look at the results of the 1789 election, you look at the Electoral College votes, it looks like, everybody voted for Washington, and then a bunch of people voted for Adams, and then there were a bunch of small vote totals for other people. A lot of those votes were deliberate throwaway votes where they would have voted for Adams, but deliberately chose not to vote for Adams because they were trying to mitigate against a potential anti-federalist scheme. In Connecticut, they had 7 electors. 5 of them voted for Washington and Adams. 2 of them voted for Washington and Huntington. The votes for Huntington were going to go to Adams. They voted for Huntington as part of the scheme that Hamilton was organizing. In Pennsylvania, again, those 2 that voted for Hancock would have voted for Adams. In Maryland, there were 8 electoral votes. 2 of the electors could not actually make it to the election. The Electoral College meets on a state-by-state basis, so the electors in each state come together. In Maryland, the 8 electors were supposed to meet in Annapolis to do their voting. 2 of the electors couldn't make it. One of them was sick. He had gout and therefore couldn't travel. The other one was unable to because of ice that blocked. I think he had to cross either the Chesapeake Bay or a river, and it was filled with ice, and so he wasn't able to make it to Annapolis. Only 6 electors in Maryland participated.
So how it worked, right?
All 6 of them voted Washington.
So he's talking about the actual
Harrison.
scheme here. He's talking about the scheme. Like, it is confirmed that these people talk to each other and were like, make sure you don't vote for too much for John Adams, right? Because those are the 2 people. But how it worked in the original election system is that the person that won the election became the president. The person that lost the election, right? The guy that came in second became the vice president. That's how it originally worked. And they wanted to ensure that George Washington was the president and John Adams would become the vice president. They were worried, though, that if too many people voted for John Adams, he would become the president and George Washington would become the vice president. So they purposely conspired with each other to ensure that they had throwaway votes so that John Adams would be the vice president. He'd get enough votes, but he wouldn't get enough votes to threaten or overtake George Washington, because not everyone wanted to vote for George, right? And that's literally what happened. There was a conspiracy to ensure George Washington was the president. That is subverting. That is subverting a fucking election. And these are the founders of the nation. These are literally the first presidential election to ever happen in the USA.
And I think that it's absolutely ridiculous to claim that that is somehow comparable to the Biden administration talking to Facebook and certain social media platforms to ban Donald Trump, when social media platforms have been under attack by Donald Trump as well. We had in Florida how the right now chair of the RNC is now pursuing legal action against Facebook, Twitter, etc., for banning Donald Trump, which was a decision that they made without Biden's interference.
Well, I don't think arguing like a civil litigation is it's hard to argue civil litigation as a big political issue. If there's a contract violation committed by a company and Trump wants to sue them, certainly if you have the opinion you don't believe that there you believe there's malice there.
It's the current RNC chair.
Right.
That's
My
like
argument is
pursuing like regulatory action against them for banning Donald Trump.
Right. So these are civil issues, and
Yes.
the challenge is I don't know the facts. You don't know the facts.
You don't think civil issues can be political?
They certainly can, but the point I'm making is that sometimes companies do bad things, and we need regulatory bodies to go after them. I'm in favor of that. Now, the question is, are the Republicans bad for doing it? Honestly, I don't know, because I don't know the underlying issues of the case. Maybe they are, maybe they're not.
So I'll bring up another instance. I mean, in Massachusetts, for example, we just had 2 Republicans who were running for Attorney General and Lieutenant Governor who were literally faking signatures on their ballots.
Lock 'em up.
Literal dead people.
Yeah, lock 'em
who, and if you look at the papers,
Oh
they're the
my
same
God, dude.
signature
Oh
down
my
the
God.
ballot.
As
It's
if,
the same person.
as if the fucking Dems don't do that. They're no. That's why they say the dead vote Dem, the dead vote blue, or whatever the fucking slogan was. The dead vote Democrat, whatever it was. It's a known thing that they're literally known for it.
Person, this third party that they hired.
Get mad when
who was
we do it.
literally didn't have the same exact
Don't get mad when they do
handwriting.
it.
And
Because
they-
it's
they
about
tried,
winning,
like,
folks.
lock 'em
That's
up.
all it boils down
Thousands
to.
of
These people
signatures
do
across
not care.
Massachusetts were
They
then
do not
considered
have
moot because
morals.
they were
It's about
literal dead
winning.
people
Yeah,
from
it's
all
terrible.
across the state. And those are 2 Republicans. And you have, I mean, there are countless instances of Republicans, not just Donald Trump, trying to subvert American elections. And I think that is one of the most authoritarian things that anybody in this country can do, is to subvert
completely.
the free and fair elections of the United States.
I think certainly that we have a problem with 2 ancient political parties. But I think the
Fucking idiot.
real big picture is here, and I'm not saying this to dismiss your anger over what these Republicans did. You're certainly warranted to believe that. I agree. I think they should go to jail for that stuff. The problem is both political parties are playing this procedural game of trying to steal elections through through procedure instead of convincing people. The Republicans are redistricting in all of these different states to give themselves.
January 6th was procedure?
I'm talking right now about both parties. Yeah, certainly January 6th was a riot, and it was very, very bad. We can agree on those things. I'm saying that both parties have these procedural efforts to increase their ability to win elections. Right now, Republicans are redistricting
I
across.
fundamentally disagree with that, because Republicans were the ones that voted against a bill to ban gerrymandering federally in the United States. Republicans were the ones that continuously denied
I'm not
the fact
excited
that Joe
about it
Biden
either,
won the
but
2020 election free and fair.
It's just like
Democrats
so
have not
fucking.
once,
It's so
and have been-
stupid.
have
Like
been
they just
very
bitch and
consistent
moan
on this,
about
on
what
protect-
literally they do. They're bitching about what they're guilty of, right? Which is a play right out of fucking Rules for Radicals, right? Rules for Radicals literally says accuse them of what you're guilty of, right? Rules for Radicals. Hillary Clinton's favorite book, Linsky. What were the rules exactly? What were they again? Let's see. Power perception. Stay within experience. Disorient opposition. Hold them to standards. Big one. Use ridicule. Keep it fun. They've forgotten how to keep it fun. They're not following that one. Avoid fatigue. Maintain pressure. The power of anticipation. Maintain constant pressure. Invert negatives. Offer alternatives. Target individuals. Target individual. Wow, I didn't even know that was in there. Am I thinking of something else? Maybe I'm thinking of the communist directive. Might be thinking of the communist directive. But basically, like that, this is a commie playbook thing where you accuse your opponent of what you are guilty of, right? That's the idea. See, did I gloss over it because maybe it's just because the AI doesn't say it specifically, but I'm pretty sure that this is in the Rules for Radicals. By American community activist and writer Saul Alinsky. Sure. He was a community activist. A community activist, guys. Is he not, in fact, a communist? In his free time, he had been raising fund. Okay. In his free time, he had been raising funds for the International Brigade, organized by the Communist Internationale in the Spanish Civil War. So literally a communist. Literally a communist. But if you look up this book, it's actually written by an American community activist. He's a community activist, guys. Fucking God.
Affecting American elections, it's in our name.
Democrats in
democracy.
2016 accused Donald Trump and his associates
American
of being
community.
Russian
That's an
assets
awfully
and trying to
fucking
steal the
nice
election at the behest
way of
a foreign
phrasing it.
adversary, going so far
Boy,
to
that's
accuse the
some
President
pretty
of the United States of
language right
treason.
there.
There was a multi-year investigation that cost tens of millions of dollars that ended up being nothing. That's election.
That's what
denial.
I am. I'm
Now,
an
I don't
American
think that's as
community
bad as a bunch of people storming the
activist.
Capitol.
That's what I am.
Terrifying and substantially worse. Physical violence. But yeah, I think if you look
How
back at the
dare
history of this
you.
country going back decades, it would
How
be a
dare
bit
you call
naive to
me a
say that
Nazi.
the political parties
Call
aren't
me
doing
a
everything in their
racist.
power to steal
Call me a
power from each other.
bigot.
Again,
I'm
so, I mean,
actually
you
an
can-
American
I don't
community
wanna pivot
activist.
to Mueller,
That's
which
what I
in
am.
fact also
But
don't-
also, I don't. We
that's all
should
what's
get
funny
caught
is
up
that
I'm gonna
when
use
Mueller-
that
when
from now
Mueller-
on. I'm an
when Mueller
American
passed-
community activist. That's
the way,
fucking
rest in peace,
brilliant.
an American hero. Donald Trump literally said, "I'm glad he's dead."
It's awful.
And he no longer can hurt innocent people.
I know.
So, like, again, another instance of Republicans, I would consider threats
Throw him
against
out there,
people
brother.
like that authoritarian.
Throw him out there. When he said that, I said it was disgusting. I mean, it's horrifying. But it doesn't change the fact that Bernie
He also
Sanders.
called Democrats evil,
Bernie
actually,
Sanders
I
had the
mean,
election
quite
taken away from
often.
him
That's a separate
illicitly. I think in 2016, I was fervent for Bernie. He was talking about securing borders because the Koch brothers, industrialists, wanted to bring in cheap labor. He was talking about getting better wages for the working class, supporting unions. And I said, this is the only guy who's been speaking to issues for the past 20 years that actually matter to working class American people.
Do you
And
still
what did the
hold those
Democratic
beliefs?
absolutely? And what did the
They call him a
Democratic Party
retard.
do? They used super delegates to make sure he could not win.
Okay, so first off, I'm a big fan of Bernie myself, so I guess it's something you could agree on there. I will say that if you as a supporter of Donald Trump, I find it kind of ironic that you believe in anything closely related to Bernie Sanders. I'll give you a few examples.
9 million people who were Democrats voted for
said-
Donald Trump in 2016.
Yeah, and I also say 3 million, millions of people, I think it was a couple million in West Virginia, your state, that voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary and then had to switch to Donald Trump. I criticized my own party for that, and I think that was wrong. My point
Bernie
is
would've
not.
won.
My point is not that the Democratic Party has never, ever, ever used something or participated, I would say, in bad faith in elections. My point is that we see consistently from Republicans, like consistently.
Being a
over
moderate
and
just
over
means that
again.
you don't know what,
Again,
like, you just are not politically smart yet, right? The moderate, listen, I'm sure that there are a few people that are actually, like, pretty hardcore into politics that are moderates, but for the most part, the average person identifies as a moderate because they're just beginning, or they, like, haven't really looked into politics very much, right? Like, they're just starting their political journey, so they identify as a moderate. They haven't really learned what the truth is yet, right? And that's why they're a moderate, is they want to hear both sides so they can find out what the truth actually is. That's kind of like how I see it, right? A moderate is just like a political brainlet. That's all they are.
I think that's like both
It's
parties
just-
are all bad.
it's
You
just-
literally had
it's
Donald
just
Trump
true.
try to
Okay, we're
subvert
gonna
the
pause
fair
here.
election.
You've been voted out by the majority.
Good talking with you, man.
If you'd like to be the next debater, please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
So, yeah, you're not going to have me defending the Democratic Party. I mean,
Let's
I
go.
feel like a lot of
Here we-
people, yeah,
and I don't want to defend
we're
Republicans
moving
either.
towards fascism on both sides. I do want to bring up two unique things that Trump has done that no one has ever done in United States history. So, two is suing a pollster for a poll he didn't like in the state of Idaho. And I think the biggest issue is the Israel issue.
Yeah.
So you have someone like Trump who, sold TikTok to Larry Ellison, and he also owns CBS News.
Oh yeah,
He
Paramount entirely.
Right. I think we both agree that's just not good, where you give someone a media apparatus, and a social media apparatus like TikTok. And then
These things worry me for sure. I think where we're going to agree with like Democrat and Republicans is the issue of Israel, particularly.
Yes.
If we're talking about authoritarianism, this is why I say, like, don't make me defend Republicans. Like, there's some things I will, but the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, I feel like as an establishment,
Brother, the Republicans
largely align with each
basically
other,
made
and then
your
there are
entire
these, like,
career.
lesser issues that divide. And I think when you look at TikTok, when you look, I'll tell you this, the TikTok was sold explicitly because of Israel.
Right.
So the story is this. Initially, Republicans were very mad about TikTok because it seemed to promote progressive content, progressive ideology.
Let's take a look.
Republicans had been
What kind of
banned, people
content
supporting Trump
is
had been
Tim
banned.
Pool
So
making
Republicans
these
come out and say,
days?
we got to ban TikTok. We can't do this. Democrats said no.
Because he keeps saying
But
that, like,
then
oh, don't
something
make me
changed. After
defend.
October 7th,
Don't
we
make
saw
me
the
defend my
rise of-
supporters. The people who pay me. Don't make me defend the people who pay me. Okay, Tucker Carlson slams Ben Shapiro. Okay, DSA crushed. Democrats panic. AOC slams. Joe says no. Mamdani booed. Trump says enough. Dude. Oh my God, we're gonna talk about grifters, bro. This is definitely one of them. Jesus fucking Christ, bro. They literally made your career. They still are making your career. Like, these are the people that you pander to. They watch your content. They made you the fucking millionaire that you are. And here you are, confronted. You go in front of these people, the people that are opposed to your fan base, the people that you pander to, the people that listen to you, right? And you fucking limp wrist, lose your spine, limp-wristed, won't even fucking defend them. Bro. And people still watch him, and they give him money. That is so cucked. You are so cucked.
Conduct critical of Israel and supportive of Palestine. Yes. All of a sudden, the Democrats are like, you know what, now we agree with Republicans and we've got to ban TikTok. And then Trump comes out and says, no, we're not going to ban it, which he does not have the authority to do. The bill was passed. It was signed by the president. When Trump came in office, he was supposed to initiate that ban. But instead, what did he do? He sold it to a supporter of his to change the structure of that content to benefit his worldview, which does align largely with many establishment Democrats.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, you have him sanctioning the ICC, the prosecutors.
The Goyim, maybe the Goyim do deserve it. Maybe.
So then you have, you know,
dude, how
Russia
can you
and China
support
that
this
don't want to
fucking guy?
participate in the Western system.
Like how,
this is
bro?
why. Then you have France, you know, that's trying to get away from the tech companies because our own politicians in those that legislation, they put that they were that any country that has these databases will be forced to give the data to them.
I think.
So,
I think if it is not a singular issue of Donald Trump. Like, clearly the Democratic Party joined in the cheering on of the banning of TikTok because of this content, and so I think that just shows that we've got an authoritarian problem in this, you know, elite circle of whatever the military-industrial complex or big banks and all of these, you know, wealthy groups. They're interested in similar things.
No, yeah, I agree.
Okay,
but
we're gonna pause here. You've been voted out by the majority. You can return to
Well,
your
we
chair.
got a little bit. Nice meeting you.
You should get a fact check. What they should have done, what they should have done, this would have been so funny, is if when he says, don't make me defend Republicans, they had like a little fact check box that showed up right here and says, it says 90% of all recordings of Tim Pool is him defending Republicans. That would be fucking keynote.
If you'd like to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Nice to meet you.
Gotta say, I'm not a fan of either party, to be honest.
Let's go.
Same boat as you on that one. Yeah. The left embracing authoritarianism. Right now, that they don't have the House, they don't have the Senate, they don't have the White House, they don't have a majority in the Supreme Court. If these guys are authoritarian, they're the crappiest authoritarians I've ever seen. They got to go back to authoritarian school and learn how to be authoritarians.
Well, or how to win. Right, losing, you can still be an authoritarian. Like, Nazis lose power, but they're still Nazis.
Well, they're losing. They're losing at all levels. They're losing everywhere.
Yeah, the Republicans crushed them. And I think...
Doesn't mean they're authoritarians, though.
Well, no, I mean, you can be an authoritarian and lose, right?
Okay, so there's 3 actual elements that we need to talk about authoritarianism. One is dismantling of institutions, one is eliminating your opponent, and suspending elections.
Those are very specific claims to some authoritarians.
I haven't seen those elements present within the left at all.
Donald Trump was arrested several times.
With exception of one, that was the eliminating opposition. I did see it, but
so
it was...
when they arrested Donald Trump several times and then tried to get a they filed a suit to the Supreme Court to get Trump banned from being able to run.
I don't remember that, but I do remember,
You don't remember
some
that?
guy at a rally going,
The 14th Amendment
lock
question.
her up, lock her up. Who was that person again? I forget. All right, it was the same guy who weaponized the DOJ against all his political opponents, or deployed the National Guard to beat down on protesters,
Bro.
deployed
When
guys
did he
to
deploy the National
terrorize
Guard to
families
the-
and tear apart communities, or launch the same
How much of
act to
okay? No, honestly though, how much of this fucking thing is just whataboutism? How much of this has been whataboutism? I feel like it's almost entirely, like every argument that's been made so far has been, well, what about?
Ryan just put voter suppression tactics in place so we could steal an election. Imprison
But, you know,
protesters for 10 years for
I think
marching down the streets.
I think
or tell the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by. I'm ready to mobilize you to launch another insurrection. Let's go,
If you'd like a soapbox,
Who was that guy again? I forgot. Who was that guy?
If you'd like a soapbox, we can set one up for you. But if you want to have a conversation,
Go
I'm
for
sitting
it.
right here.
Go for it. I think the position is indefensible, but I'd love to hear your take. Go for it.
Well, you're allowed to not like Trump. He's done a lot of bad things. Thank you. Now, we were talking about the Democratic Party, the things they've done, and I think, and I'm not saying this derisively, but I think there's many things that you're ignorant of the Democratic Party has done. You talk about suppression of their political opponent. Well, yeah, they sued so that Trump could not run for office. They tried to claim he was an insurrectionist. He was ineligible. He was arrested several times. They arrested his lawyers. Now, by all means, every authoritarian makes the argument they're justified in their use of authoritarian tactics to remove their political opponents. That doesn't change the idea, or I should say the philosophy behind what they are doing. So if you want to accuse Jenna Ellis, for instance, of doing something wrong because she drafted a letter arguing on Trump's behalf, that's authoritarianism. By all means, you can say she was wrong to do it, she's a criminal, but we are seeing when you start going after people's lawyers, by all means, tell me you think she's a criminal and deserves it, and I will tell you, the people of this country now stand in fear that Democrats are going to arrest them if they engage in legal practices.
We're gonna pause here. We are out of time.
Absolutely.
What's the next one? Okay, the United States is what? It doesn't actually.
My next surrounded claim is that the United States is tracking towards a civil war.
Oh my God, the classic. That's the Tim Pool classic, brother.
If you'd like to be the first debater, please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, look at him go. Oh, they were wet. You knew it had to show up at some point. Dude, you can't. It's Tim Pool. Civil War is coming, bro. It's coming.
Welcome back.
Yep. You miss me? So, listen, I think that we are getting closer towards a peak of civil unrest in this country, and in all honesty, I'm going to blame people like you. This entire time, you've been trying to blur the line between what separates you and a person
I'm
like
gonna
me
kill you, and it's your fault. It's your fault,
The
Goyam.
truth is you don't agree. On your show, you have 5 white supremacists around you and 1 liberal lawyer talking about why we should protect the Constitution. On Twitter, you're mentioning the Civil War and why we need to have a civil war
I've never said
24/7.
we need to have a civil
No, well, you've said civil war numerous times. Slates of screenshots over the last 4 years alone.
Saying
That's,
that
I'm not
there
done.
will
Talking
be
about shooting
one
ivermectin
is
up your
very-
ass,
I've
and
never
then
talked
all
to-
the time.
I've
Stop
never
talking,
advocating
stop.
for ivermectin.
You
have literally no idea what you're talking about. You've not done any research, and you've never used Google. I've never advocated for ivermectin.
You're
not
mad.
once.
You're big mad. Yeah, dude. Dude, this guy is like, dude, he's so Jewish.
All the time.
I've
Stop
never
talking,
advocating
stop.
for ivermectin.
Yeah,
You have literally
stop
no
talking,
idea what you're
stop
talking about. You've
I
not done
do,
any
I do. You're
research,
mad.
and you've never
You're
used
mad.
Google.
You're
I've
mad.
never advocated for
I've used
ivermectin,
Google.
not once.
He's not gonna
In
stop
fact,
talking, you're gonna waste
I've
time.
never used it. I never used ivermectin. I said no.
Hold on.
You shouldn't use it.
I'm gonna get to the
so
point
if you want
here.
to make things up,
Are you an
and
intellectual or are you too much of a child
You
to
want to
stop
just
talking?
waste time, then we can waste time. But if you have an
You're
actual
wasting time right
argument,
now, yeah.
so if
I'm about to give it to
agree
you.
with
So
me on the issue, but you don't
typically-
like me, then we can agree and you can
No, I
leave.
think you're responsible. I think
That's
you're
fine.
responsible.
You can get up
An
and leave
individual
then.
like you're mad.
If you
Yeah,
agree,
you just don't want to finish. You know where I'm going to go with this.
Do you agree?
You so mistrust the
You're
United
allowed
States
to blame me
institution.
all you want, and then we can agree and you can leave.
You just want to run away from the
Are
conversation?
you here to dispute my claim or agree with it?
I think you're responsible.
That's fantastic. Thank you, and have a nice
Oh,
day.
you don't want to hear why you're responsible?
It doesn't matter because you're here to dispute my claims, right? Not
It
agree
doesn't
with
matter.
me?
You don't. All of a sudden, you want to stick to the definition of your claims when it comes to just about everything.
Are you
Everything
supposed
else
to agree with me and
you
sit
want
here
to.
and agree
You're
with
not going
me?
to stop talking, are you?
Are you going to sit here and agree
Are you
with
to
me?
control yourself? You're like 50 years old,
You're
bro.
going to sit here
Calm
and
down.
agree with me?
Calm down.
You come down.
I
you
don't
sit
agree
down,
with you. I
don't
disagree
shake
with you on
hands,
everything.
You make fake
Oh my
claims.
Of course I
fucking
do.
God,
If
dude.
anybody's doing something
Never
that they don't actually
never
believe
Yeah, leave
in,
the
you're
red
never
flags
getting
down.
people
Let
to
the
fact.
let the
You're an
let the
adversary
Jew
for
work
an
work
adversary.
his magic real
advocated
quick.
on Joe Rogan's show
adversary.
against ivermectin.
David, can you please address the claim?
I think America is getting closer to civil war, and it's all because of people like Tim Pool.
Thank you for agreeing with me. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you're a coward, bro.
Well, if you don't agree with me, I don't know why you're here. Also, I would recommend doing research before you come to a place like this.
If you'd like to be the next debater, please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back.
Damn.
Good to see you again.
Was,
Nice to see you again.
what a
Yeah.
what a phenomenal
First time we
display.
talked about this was in 2019, so it's been quite a while
I think it was
since
before
you've
that,
been
actually.
calling for civil war.
I've never called for civil war.
Or not calling for, I'm sorry. Said
His
that we're
name's
on the
David,
range
and he's a
of
star,
And
baby.
what was the citation I had for when I
He's
said
the
that?
star of the show.
It was The Atlantic.
Okay.
And it was a journalist who interviewed several national security experts who said that there is a range of opinions in the national security space that the U.S. is trending towards a civil war. Notably, that when you cite people like Stephen Marsh, journalist, as well as Barbara F. Walter, former CIA, the U.S. Academics describe the
He
period
was
that we're in
promised
as
that
civil
scalding
strife, meaning
300 years,
there's a
3,000 years ago.
criteria
Yeah,
of
dude.
death that has occurred for political reasons over the past year or years, for which the next phase would be civil war. However, we'll make my point, tracking towards it, I've not said that it will happen, although there's been many people who have said that we are in a cold civil war or some kind of cultural civil war. I always caveat, because I don't actually have a strong prediction.
First of all,
Yo, excuse me, Tim? You do. You talk about it all the time and how it's coming. It's right around the corner, but you can see it. It's close enough that you can see it, but it's not close enough to where it's gonna happen like tomorrow. You know what I mean? It's coming though.
You do have strong
It's
predictions.
on the
You've been saying this
horizon.
since
It's like
2019.
global warming.
There's
It's gonna
42
happen, guys.
People can look this up. There's 42.
Oh,
of your
excuse me.
titles
It's
that have the word civil war
It's climate change now. I forgot they changed
in it.
They
with
changed
big
the
fonts
term.
on the front.
They sure do.
So why is that? It's sensationalist. It's easy to get clicks on that. There's a reason why you say it, because it's very profitable for your business.
Not necessarily. We have 1,600 episodes of just IRL.
There comes a point where people stop taking your predictions seriously.
Are you going to make an
If you
argument,
said-
or are you mad at me?
I'm not mad at you. I'm
Okay,
trying
then
to
let's make an
explain.
argument about whether
I'm
or not
trying.
we are tracking.
Can
No.
you relax?
If you're making
The
an
point-
argument, you
no,
don't
Tim.
like my thumbnails, or you try to say my
I'm
name over and
saying-
over
I'm
again.
saying that you say bullshit in order to get money. But what
Let me
I
ask
really
you-
think
let
is
me ask you a
the
question.
predictions.
Let me
Hold
ask
on.
you- let me ask you a
Tim,
question you can't
I will
answer.
agree with you that there's increased polarization.
Huh?
I would attribute a
All
lot
right,
of
let
that
me-
to people being specifically online.
Let me ask.
There's
I
a
don't
lot
disagree.
less interaction with
completely
people
agree.
that are in
Sure.
different camps.
Let me ask you a question.
But you're going to sit here and tell me that we're way more polarized than fucking
That was
Alexander
caused by your side.
Hamilton and Aaron Burr, who like shot each other with their disagreements.
100% caused by
Do you want a
libtards.
conversation, or are you just going to be
is
angry?
not
Why was Aaron
polarization.
Danielson shot in the chest twice?
Because they couldn't.
Sorry?
Why
take
was
it.
Aaron Danielson shot in the chest
I'm
twice?
not disagreeing that political violence
Answer
is taking
the
place
question. You say
Tim
Alexander
Pool.
Hamilton and Aaron Burr, but then when I ask you a question about an assassination, you defer.
You can say that
Let me
there's
ask you a
civil
question.
war every fucking year and it doesn't happen. And
I
you're gonna
never
say
said
it just
there
hasn't
was.
happened yet.
Let me ask you a
Or
question.
if it does happen, you say, see, I've had it all
Let me
along.
ask you a
You
question.
are the same thing as
Let-
like the
let me
Christian rapture
ask you
people
a
who say
question.
that the rapture's coming every fucking year.
Are we-
and
that
when it
is
doesn't
true.
happen, it's
Do you want
like,
a
oh,
This
soapbox?
guy's right.
You want me
He's
to
right.
get
He's right. It is like the exact same thing.
Soapbox?
It's really
I can leave.
easy.
You want me to
It's
go?
really easy to
You want me
like
to
do
leave?
what you do.
You want me to
It's
leave?
really easy to do what you do. Like you literally just say, Civil War is happening next year. Civil War is happening next year. It's coming. Make
Did
sure
the
you
black woman fucking clap?
Civil War is happening
She did.
next year.
You see that?
Civil War is happening next year. It's coming. Make
The
sure you
host is,
subscribe to
like,
Timcast.
clapping.
Continue to watch my videos, please. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. It's easy to do what you do, bro.
Nobody's actually had a debate yet. Are we going to actually talk about whether it will or will not happen? I mean, sounds like it's gonna.
All right. If you'd like to be the next debater, please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome. Nice to meet you. Hey, nice to meet you.
I think we are being constantly fueled by the people that are already in charge, that are up on top, that are already wealthy, and that already have power over
What's
the entire
crazy is that,
government.
like,
Donald Trump has $8 billion.
what are they even arguing about there? Right? What are they? It feels like they all agree that, like, yeah, Civil War is coming, but they just don't like Tim Pool because he talks about it all the fucking time, which I can relate to. I can agree. Like, it's mad annoying. It's mad annoying to listen to Tim Pool talk about Civil War every fucking video.
Billionaires in his administration, including himself. You see his sons profiting, you see his friends profiting, you see everyone in close ties with him profiting. They're not going to give up this power. I don't think we're on the verge of a civil war. I think we're due for a revolution.
Well,
and I hope that's peaceful. I hope that's not violent.
It's-
I hope we
So
change.
this is fantastic. No, I appreciate this. Can I ask you some questions?
Yeah.
Do you believe that Donald, and I'm not trying to accuse you of believing this, but do you think that Donald
Okay.
Trump is a fascist?
How do I think Tim Pool is performing? Poorly. I think everyone here is fucking not doing a good job. To be honest with
Yes,
you,
I do.
They're
Do
all
you think that
pretty
they're
bad
Nazis
at
in
this.
his administration?
In his administration, few.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
been
Do you
entertaining
think
though.
that they?
That's for sure.
How do you feel about them using the military to go after undocumented migrants in this country?
I think it is an unnecessary use of force when we should be targeting violent criminals that have come into this country illegally.
feel
That
about
should
the
be
killing?
the sole focus when 70% of
I
detainees in
understand.
ICE custody do not have a criminal conviction.
how do you
We're
feel-
wasting resources and trying to use
I understand.
a show of militaristic power, which is a huge proponent of fascism.
How do you feel about the death of Renee Good and Alex Preddy?
Unjustified.
Are you going to do anything about it?
I'm going to rally everyone here.
Is rallying going to stop murder?
I don't do this.
Is rallying going to stop the killing
I
of people?
annoy my few hundred friends and followers on my Instagram posts by reposting news stories.
Do you think
and adding my
rallying will
comments to it.
stop the killing of people
What
by
I'm
ICE?
doing here now is trying to show people that they need to speak up, that we're not against each other right and left.
Do you believe speaking up will stop ICE from killing people?
I think speaking up will get us to the right process of voting people in the midterms and in the next election so that we can make changes the constitutional way.
How many people do you think will die between now and then?
Too many. There's already been too many people that have died.
So again, this is largely based off of, I don't know if it's
So wait,
particularly
are you
your
trying to
views.
incite a civil war?
No.
Do you want a civil war?
I'm asking
mostly
what do you want-
peaceful
what do you want to do
revolutions.
against
Yeah,
ICE?
right. It's not gonna be a civil
I
war.
like ICE.
It's gonna be
Then
a
you're happy that they're
revolution,
killing
maybe.
people.
That's
No.
an awfully nice
so
way
what
to
are you
put
gonna
it.
do?
Yeah.
I'm gonna vote
Omni
for Trump
slash for
again.
2. Thank you, man. I
He's the one
appreciate
that's
it.
allowing guys to kill
To
people.
be
He's
fair,
the one
I'm
not
gonna vote
taking-
for J.D. Vance.
As I just said, he's the one not taking accountability.
Yeah, they
See,
always they like to
I
do
think
the
there's a
word
distinction here.
cleaning
For
up.
One, the claim is meant to be
The
like
word sprucing up, showing off their verbose vocabulary. Ooh, I've read a thesaurus.
partisan.
They do
but I
that,
have,
man.
Of course, my partisan views.
Of course.
I like the Trump administration, though they've done a lot of bad things.
And that's fine.
And we can call it those bad things, but I'm going to continue to support it. My point largely is either the progressives will stand up against what they perceive as fascism, or fascism takes over.
Which they
They
already
Now,
treat
my
language
only-
like
had
a
the
teen
argument.
boy treats deodorant. You know what I mean? Like they take a nasty word, a foul word. They spray a little bit of Axe body spray on it. Ooh, it comes out smelling good. It comes out not smelling like BO, right? But if you actually take a whiff, it's the same thing, buddy. It's just got a little layer. It's got a little layer over it.
Protest in the history of the United States.
your-
No
if
King's
your
protest.
argument
We're gonna
is
pause here. Thank you. You've been
Nice
voted out by
talking
the
to you. Yeah.
majority. If you'd like to be the next debater, please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so the whole thing about civil war is
Oh,
that I
another
do think
fight.
that you need some sort of
Charlie!
leadership, you know, that is being financially disenfranchised.
from
to
Has-Been Hotel?
incentivize a civil war. And we don't really have any strong progressive leaders in office currently that are being meaningfully financially disenfranchised the way slavers were. So
But
I
you,
think
you,
that...
you don't. That's the challenge. I think. just
Yes,
to
that is
plug it,
absolutely... Yes, that
you
is
don't.
the...
If you take a look at civil wars throughout history, we can use the Syrian civil war as an
Mhm.
example. It started with a dozen or so disparate factions, largely of locals, and various ideologies that ultimately coalesced around one group, either the Free Syrian Army, but then ultimately got taken over.
Right, sure,
Civil
but the
wars
thing
can
is
be
that, like-
fomented through small factions that bubble up.
Certainly, but I think that you are vastly overestimating the, kind of militant capacity of the American left. Like, we truly do not have, like, a far left in the U.S. that would be willing to take up arms. It is so
That is
so
such
small.
horseshit.
Furthermore, I do think that technology-wise,
You
it's
are
not,
such
it's
a
not
fucking
an even
dumb
battle
cunt.
anymore. Like, the military, the U.S. military, which is largely conservative, and currently, Trump is in charge of them. The technology that they have to track, surveil, to remotely kill people would be absurd. I mean, I guess we could do some sort of guerrilla warfare, but this is American territory. It wouldn't go down like Vietnam, Like, we know where we are, we know where we're going. It
So
just...
this is a fantastic point, by the way, and this gets into what's known as the generations of warfare.
Okay.
So the earliest generation of warfare, obviously, is a guy punching a guy. As we got into the 1700s, well, maybe even before then, you get field battles and drums and trumpets, and this, they refer to this largely as like third generation. Fourth generation is what they refer to as insurgency, terror, guerrilla warfare tactics, which we saw famously people bring up during the American Revolution. Many people refer to the period we're now in as fifth generational warfare. And the question is, what is the purpose of conflict? And it's to typically, not always, but to
Military
gain
is
control of
brown.
resources
Well, yeah, so
or a political
once the
group.
military is like fully brown, right? Once whites are completely a minority, right? Like a super minority. They're not going to have a problem killing your ass, bro. A lot of the people in the military today will tell you, "Oh, we actually wouldn't just shoot. We actually just wouldn't shoot civilians. We just wouldn't do it." Hey, bro, we just wouldn't do it. Wait until it's a bunch of sub 80 IQ Browns who think you're a racist, okay? Wait until then. They will have no problem shooting your ass.
Usually it's to gain control of something, and it could be for ideological reasons or economic reasons. What we're witnessing now, what I would say maybe we're not going to have what's called a hot civil war but remain cold, is the use of information technology for the purpose of controlling populations, like you've described. So in the broader picture, I would argue that what we are seeing now with TikTok and Instagram may actually stop kinetic conflict, which would be people shooting each other.
Yes.
And we may actually just end up with people being brainwashed and, waving Israeli flags or something.
Well, I mean, we're already kind of there. I mean, like, Peter Thiel and Elon Musk are, the two most powerful tech dudes, and even Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos to some degree. They're in Trump's pocket, or maybe Trump is in theirs.
Really?
And there's just,
Really?
online, there really isn't a way for the left to meaningfully take control, not in a real sense. I think that, yes, the country
You
will
live in a
continue to get
fantasy
polarized,
world.
but will we have a civil war?
Oh my god, dude. I wish I could live in like a little porcelain castle in Fantasyland where I could believe I could believe just straight lies like this. Yeah, you, Chud. Actually, you, Chud, who's been banned off of every platform. The tech companies are on your side. Jeff Bezos actually hates Hassan Piker. Mark Zuckerberg actually hates leftoids. That's why he only let leftoids on his fucking platform for so long. My god. The only one that made any sense is Elon. The only one.
No.
Pause here. Thank you. You've been voted out by the majority.
That was good. Thank you.
All right, if you'd like to be the next debater, please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hello. When January 6th happened, I actually thought we were headed towards a civil war then. I thought, oh my God, this is really f***ing bad.
It's terrifying.
And so much so that what ended up happening is that gun sales increased predominantly on the left because they were so afraid of what was going to happen. And we had been seeing documentaries and news networks talking about the far right extremists who were already training with like AR-15s and things like that that were attempting to potentially start a coup. And so if we were talking back then,
That's true.
I would actually agree with you.
Yeah, they did
The
start
reason I
buying a bunch of
disagree with
guns.
you
They
now
started getting into gun
is
culture.
because we don't have
I noticed a uptick on the V board specifically of like troons or libtards posting on the not V, excuse me, K. I don't know what the fuck did I say. K, the gun board on 4chan. There was an uptick of libtards posting about their guns. There was
a faction of the left that is nearly as violently motivated as the right is. So if we were to talk about a hypothetical civil war, then I would argue the far right would start it, specifically because of what you just said.
Yeah, but
You
that was a
said
different.
that
That
you would
was
like
that
to-
was the other retarded Floyd that said that the left doesn't like have a militant faction or like they don't have guns or whatever the fuck she said. So you can't really attribute it to her. But yeah, like I'm sure she's sitting there like thinking to herself, like nodding her head along with like, right, that's right, yeah. I'm sure she's thinking that when it literally directly contradicts what she believes.
to re-elect Trump, that you would vote for him for a
Vance.
third time. But you didn't say Vance. You said Trump, right?
Well, I corrected it.
And
you know
I think that
Rubio, maybe.
goes down to the ideology of, again, your argument around the Constitution. There is a faction of MAGA that wants him to run again and
Agreed, yeah.
skirt the Constitution
Yep.
so that MAGA can stay in power. I think in a hypothetical, that would lead towards a civil war.
I agree.
And so, okay, but people like yourself.
Oh my God,
who
I can't do
continue
this
to
for another
spew
40
this type of
minutes. We're going to
rhetoric
end soon.
Is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? I think you want it to happen.
I think you're exaggerating the things that I've said about it. I mean, I think that last conversation was absolutely
I think
fantastic.
everything that you talked about is online, and people
So
can
I
just
think
look it up.
I've interviewed national security experts to ask them if they think
Yeah, just
this
look
is
it up.
going to happen. When you have one gentleman saying,
Coming
yes, and
from
it's my fault.
the same people who think Charlie Kirk was a white nationalist. Yeah, just go watch it. Well, why don't you practice that? They don't actually do that.
He doesn't have to like
This
me. He doesn't
Floyd
like my
is
opinions of
not
what I
going
do.
online and watching fucking Tim Pool or Kirk to verify what her friends told her in during their little gossip sesh when they were talking about boys and politics kind of came, right? They don't do that. Floyd is not. If she's watching any sort of political commentary online, it's from another Floyd. Probably has a bull-pierced nose, dyed hair, and has a fucking dyke as a boyfriend. Okay.
But I think when you also
People aren't-
say that
women do
when
not
MAGA wants to elect Trump for a
fucking
third time,
search
you are
on
correct. They
politics.
do, and
It's just
I also
they don't care
agree
about
this
it.
is going to
They
create
have
an untenable
more
situation.
they have more pressing things to talk about, like what Stacey was wearing today. Yeah, did you see? Dressed in. I would never wear. I would never wear that shade of red.
For the country,
That's
that
what
I
they
don't
do.
believe progressives
Yeah.
or Democrats will accept.
VTuber enthusiast for $10. My broshi Nikusumiku got picked up for 1/6. For January 6th. Okay, fortunately, he got pardoned. I had a mask and a satellite VPN and GPS scrambler. I also changed clothes. I think this helped me not get nabbed. Oh, you were there too? Oh, okay. I think you probably told me that before, but I forgot. But yeah, Nikosumiku did go to jail for being at January 6th. Isn't that fucking crazy? Got arrested, at the very least.
See Trump and his base backing down, and I don't see the left, liberals, Democrats, or otherwise agreeing to back down. It's a simple question. Would anyone in this room sit back as Trump seized a third term in power? I don't think they would do it.
Yeah.
So you can have a fascist take over a revolution, or you can have a civil war if this is the case, and I hope to God it's not. Because you know what I'd prefer? I prefer to watch the soccer match and have some chicken wings. I don't want to deal with conflict, crisis. I don't like having to live in I have multiple bodyguards with me today. I have to have people standing outside my house because I got
Are you
shot.
scared of the progressives in here?
Not scared of anybody in here. Actually, I think you guys have been absolutely lovely. But there are lunatics. In
Yeah,
December
okay.
of last year, someone drove by my property and opened fire on our buildings. And
You're going to blame that on the left too?
it was a left-aligned individual who did it, but I mean, I'm not blaming you guys for doing it. And I certainly would acknowledge that there are people on the right who engage in violence all the same. What I'm saying is I don't want you to be in fear of your life. I don't want to be in fear in my life. I prefer this. You guys have been absolutely awesome. We disagree. I mean, that guy really hates me, but I don't want him hurt or anything like that. I don't want to live in a country where people are attacking each other without trying to understand each other.
Right, but the rhetoric that you're spewing is leading towards that. You want Trump again, which means the rhetoric that
But
you're
do you-
spewing online,
Trump
the
won in
political
2024.
commentary that you're spewing online
I don't
is
want-
teasing it.
I don't
It's
want
like,
Donald
it's
Trump-
like, will they, won't they, will they, won't they?
I don't want Donald Trump for a
Guys,
third term.
Go
But
and have a civil
I would prefer, J.D. Vance, maybe Rubio, but
That's still MAGA.
And indeed, and understand that Trump won the plurality of the vote in 2024, and he has a large support base, despite his polls being very low. He does. And we'll see what happens with the Republican Party in 26 and 28. But you can't just wish away the existence of another political faction with a polarized worldview compared to yours. I do not see a reality where Republicans accept the worldview of the progressives who are gaining ground in multiple places, namely in New York. And I don't see the progressives accepting the Trump worldview as you've described it.
And the reason that we're not going to accept it is because people like you.
And the reason we won't accept it is people like you.
We're gonna pause here. If you'd like to be the next debater, please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Feels
Nice
like
to
a
meet
good
you.
moment
Nice
for
to
me
meet
to take a
Okay,
walk away here.
so
for
we know that
minutes.
the USA is very resilient, right? We've weathered so much. So we've stayed intact, and we weathered 1968 riots, McCarthyism, what else? Civil rights era.
Civil War.
So, but the thing is, we've stayed intact, right? So my thing is that we can have polarizing views, right? But nothing that we're dealing with right now is as intense as anything that I've just mentioned, and none of those things led to a civil war. So unless the right plans to enslave the left, how are we gonna have a civil war?
So one example that I often say, which I don't know, that, you know, a lot of this is probabilistic. I like to use Colorado as an example. Okay. Colorado allows for abortion up to the point of birth, the woman's discretion, but Oklahoma bans it, and they share a border. Okay. So you have a potential for conflict in that regard, because if a woman is with a man and she's 7 or 8 months pregnant, and she decides to get an abortion in Colorado where it's legal, the state will try to stop her. We have already had an instance where, I'm not sure, it was a southern state, it might have been Mississippi or Alabama, where they charged, I believe they attempted to charge a woman with conspiracy to commit abortion by fleeing the state. And so the issue that arises is at the ground level when a man says, "You are taking my child to be murdered," and the woman says, "No, it's a fetus, I'm getting an abortion," and this results in people on the ground traveling between jurisdictions with different laws, which creates a problem for Colorado and a problem for Oklahoma, which probably don't want to fight.
So, but what I'm saying is that if you're saying the nation would fight, we don't even see internal fights within the states, like separate states. I would think that we would see that first before we would see the nation fight.
Well, we saw in Texas when the Biden administration deployed federal police, and the Texas National Guard came, and they were actually in dispute over the concertina wire on the border, because Texas doesn't have the constitutional authority to deport. They sent out their state National Guard in defiance of the federal
And we saw that
government.
overreach here in California when Trump did that overreaching.
Right, sending the
Newsom.
Marines.
But guess
into,
what? But the thing is,
marijuana
military
fields.
hasn't defected.
The claim is that we are tracking towards one, and I think that's an academic claim.
Okay, so
but it's also possible we have a revolution.
What do you mean by tracking? Tracking like in 100 years? Like
No. Tracking means that what we have seen over the past 10 years historically runs parallel to other stories that have culminated in civil war, but don't always. So that's why academics say today's period in the United States is called civil strife.
Okay,
but
we're
the
gonna pause
civil rights
there.
era was civil strife as well.
We're going to pause here. Thank you. You've been voted
Good
out
talking
the
to you.
majority. If you'd like to be the next debater, please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome. Hi. Nice jacket.
Hi, thank you. When you say that the U.S. is heading towards a civil war, I fundamentally disagree with this claim, because I think that for any country to go through civil war, 3 key things need to happen. The first is geographic fracture. The second is the military defecting. And the third is institutional collapse, none of which we see in the United States.
Well, let's address the claim number 1. We actually have seen massive internal migration from blue states to red states and red states to blue states. So the geographic hyperpolarization absolutely is happening.
I didn't say polarization. I said geographic fracture. There are plenty of blue cities in red states.
Right.
So where's the fracture? Has any state tried to secede?
There's literally almost every city is blue. Almost every city is blue. And that's because they're cattle. Okay, they're voter cattle. The design of cities lends itself to benefiting these people. Low informed people. The busyness of a city lends itself to helping the more fuck. How do you like explain this? So, if you live in a city, you are probably working quite a lot. And if you're not doing that, you are probably socializing or doing one of the many things you can't really do in the countryside. Okay, right? Like there's clubs to go to. There's a shit ton of bars. You know, you can walk down the road and there's a million different things that you could go do. While in the countryside, there's not a whole lot, except for fucking around in your yard. So you have a lot more options for entertainment. Your time is spent doing more things, right? Probably the news that you get is going to be pretty much what you see at the coffee shop on the TV. And CNN and MSNBC pay coffee shops across America to leave their channel on, right? So when you go in and get your little bit of news while you're waiting in line for a coffee, you're going to see that and you're going to assume that that is popular opinion. It kind of works the same way with media algorithms for your phone, like any social media platform. If you're somebody that's not super politically active, every now and then you're going to see a news article, and that news article is going to be from like CNN or MSNBC or some left-wing source, and you're going to read that headline, and the headline is going to impress upon you what is popular opinion on politics, right? Because you live in a busy lifestyle area, right? So you have less time to be actually informed on politics. That's why cities are predominantly blue, because it is designed to keep you busy so that you are uninformed.
There have been instances of states trying to secede from themselves.
Not really, no.
Which
states have tried to secede?
Northern California is trying to secede. You've got Eastern Oregon trying to secede.
No.
You've got a district in Northern Colorado.
When I mean secede is not, are people wanting it to happen? Or is there a little bit of a movement going on? Is there mass voting for a state to secede? No, there's not.
The state of Jefferson, are you familiar?
No, there's not.
And Greater Idaho.
Did it happen?
It
doesn't happen.
I believe we had two counties.
College students have it even worse. College students have it even worse, Vet Fan, because odds are is their teachers are all commies, right? They're all libtards. That's because universities were infiltrated by actual communists back during when the USSR was around, by the KGB, and they spread communist ideas, belief systems throughout the university system. So they're being indoctrinated by the people that they're learning from, and then on top of that, college students have a sense of arrogance to them. They think that they're much smarter than they actually are because they're in college, right? So when they learn something in their class, even if it's a retarded opinion, they're going to take it as fact, and they're going to be harder to convince that they're wrong because the man that teaches them, I don't know, calculus, told them that he hates Donald Trump, and they misconstrue that for like a fact, right? They misconstrued political opinions of their team as fact. Also, there's like there's also a ton of classes that are just straight up left-wing propaganda, right? Gender studies, African studies, these things are just straight up left-wing propaganda. These are courses you can major in leftist propaganda. Insane. But yeah, the college students definitely have it worse.
No, don't just say you don't.
Go to
Eastern
college
Oregon
and you
had
get
two counties
absolutely
voting to
mind
secede
raped
from the state to join Idaho.
Did it happen?
It did not.
It does not happen, no, because
but whether it did or didn't happen is the argument. Are people trying to make it happen?
We're extremely polarized in this country,
Maryland
but
tried
there's
to
no
secede.
geographic fracture.
Western Maryland voted to join West Virginia.
People tried. It doesn't happen.
I understand. I think a lot of people look at American history and then believe all civil wars happen in this context. But in fact, the United States is unique in this regard, in that we were positioned for civil war because you had state jurisdictions with great authority that were in defiance of the federal government.
You use this rhetoric a lot, and it's very, very dangerous to use this rhetoric because it gets people up in arms and gets people rallied up. This kind of rhetoric is the same kind of rhetoric that Donald Trump uses to rally up right-wing conservatives. This is so dangerous that there are only two possibilities for why somebody would say this. Either they're blatantly exaggerating and grifting for money, or they genuinely believe what they say and they don't know, and they don't give their audience the 20 seconds of respect on Google it would take to learn otherwise. The U.S. is not heading towards a civil war.
That's
not what's happening.
There's clearly more than two reasons why someone would say these things.
No, there's not. I mean, like I said,
and that's being intentionally derisive
just
and not.
Google it, bro.
And
it's
not
not.
just bro.
It's the truth because we're not heading towards a civil war.
We're going to pause it here. We're out of time.
All right.
Thank you, though, so
well,
much.
it's good talking to you.
Nice to meet you.
final surrounded claim is that the Constitution effectively does not exist anymore.
If you'd like to be the first debater, please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
To a certain extent.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Going well, going well.
So, what is the purpose of the claim?
So the first question is, what is a constitution? A constitution, it actually refers to what constitutes a body politic. As of right now, I would make the argument that first, what is known to most people, the interpretation of the Constitution dramatically has changed over the past several hundred years, not just with amendments, but
Yeah, the
with the language
Constitution
itself,
doesn't
though. Many
fucking
people
matter.
might argue they're originalists, some might say they're
100% true.
textualists. It doesn't even matter if they claim those things because their view of the Constitution has changed. As of today, there's actually two distinct large body politics, if that's the way you say it, and they do not agree on the interpretation of the Constitution. Thus, we are seeing claims the Supreme Court is no longer legitimate. We've seen that for some time now. We see Republicans angry with Amy Coney Barrett and Kavanaugh over their rulings, and we are now hearing arguments that politicians should just ignore the Constitution outright, or the Supreme Court, I'm sorry, in this capacity, even though this would violate the Constitution.
But that wouldn't necessarily work, because if the founding fathers were creating the document, they knew that this was going to continuously progress because they believed in the modernization of the United States that was going to continuously go forward. That's why you had Lincoln making the Reconstruction era amendments and even the progressive era amendments, like the 16th Amendment with the income tax, the 17th Amendment.
Well, we're not arguing amendments.
But what I'm saying is that the Constitution has always been able to progress and change. If you're looking for the issues when it comes to the Supreme Court and what everybody else believes, that happens on the left and on the right. Everyone has the disagreements when it comes to the Supreme Court. But the problem is when you look at the Trump administration, what they're currently doing right now is making executive orders saying that they're going to ask questions about the 14th Amendment, when the reality is that he wanted to change the first section of the 14th Amendment to his own.
Is anyone stopping him?
The Supreme Court did, actually. Not only did the Supreme Court stop them, initially, that's what he was promised, he was hoping did not happen. That's why he was sitting in April with the Supreme Court, trying to be basically
Not a
the
single
muscle
one
of
of
the
these people
executive
give a fuck
branch.
about the
So
Supreme-
Trump
about
hasn't
the
stopped.
fucking
In fact, they're
Constitution,
preparing
bro.
another executive order under the same line that was just rejected, but targeting territories.
But then you would agree with that the fault
And
would be coming from
Tim
the political
Pool's
right
claim
in
is
this case,
pretty
because
much
it's not a
right.
question of
Right? They don't. Nobody actually. Nobody cares. Nobody in politics cares about the Constitution. These fucking libtards certainly do not care about the Constitution. It's just thrown in your face as like hold them to a standard type thing, right? The Saul Alinsky quote that we got just earlier.
The fault is a
all it
question of
is.
we are not seeing. But my
Like he
point
talks
more-
about the founding fathers meant for it to be, changeable, right? For it to be able to evolve. And then he doesn't address the ones that they actually wrote. He talks about amendments. Talks about the extra shit that was added onto it, not even written by the founding fathers. Interesting.
Actually is there is a left and there's a right in this country that are so distinct. Neither views the Constitution as being upheld.
But that's not necessarily true. When you look
But
at
it is true.
Well, I'll explain to you as the reason as to why it's not
You
true.
think Trump's upholding the Constitution?
I don't think he's upholding the Constitution, but I know for a fact
Okay.
that the left has been, or the Democrats have been actually holding up the Constitution a lot more. If you look at, for
I
example,
disagree.
if you look for example with Bush,
Do you think Republicans believe the Democrats are upholding the Constitution?
Do I think that the Republicans are holding it?
Do Republicans in this country believe Democrats are holding true to the
Of course
Constitution?
they don't, but that's because
That's the point.
But wait,
There is no
but that's,
unified
wait,
body
but that's
politic that
but that
operates
is
under the US
opinion based.
Constitution.
That's specifically opinion based. When
And
you
that-
look
yes,
at
correct.
well, hold on. When you look at different members and different presidential terms. You look at Trump, he's trying to take it down with the 14th Amendment through executive orders. The AUMF under Bush, he took away the ability for the Congress to actually declare war with that simple document because of September 11th. I haven't seen Obama do that. I haven't seen Biden try and do that whatsoever, especially when it comes to the past 20 years. The reason as to why we're in those situations is because of these two presidents. Now, what my argument is that while they may say, individuals may say this, what we're seeing is actual executive powers, actual legislative
but
powers,
this is not the argument.
actual judicial powers on the
Do you
right that are
believe-
specifically doing this.
Let me ask you a
There was
question.
a pause. You've been voted out by the majority.
Good talking with you.
Good talking with you.
If you'd like to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
How's it going? Nice to meet you.
An issue I kind of take with your interpretation of the Constitution is that you're kind of like taking this originalist approach to the Constitution and that every single word in the Constitution should be taken as literal.
No, I'm not.
So what do you mean essentially by like?
So the founding fathers it was split between the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists. There was an argument as to whether we should have an unwritten constitution or a written constitution.
Yeah.
There was a fear that with an unwritten constitution,
literal
it would evolve too
interpretation
dramatically
of
and
the
you'd end up with tyranny.
is
So
a bad thing.
one faction says, "Hey guys, write
Aren't
it down." In
laws
fact, they wanted not just a
written
constitution; they wanted
to
a
be
Bill of
literal?
Rights. So the argument is
They typically
fundamentally,
don't
a
write
constitution is
laws
what
using
constitutes
not like non-literal words, right? Because it creates confusion. And the founding fathers were not stupid enough to not understand that.
the body politic. When you have a group of people that are largely morally aligned, they all basically agree, then you have a constitution. We are seeing an increase in geographic polarization. This is resulting in the Congress becoming equally polarized with
Oh my God,
different
brother.
views of what the Constitution actually means.
I am
So our
fatigued.
Congress
I'm
is
pool
very, very,
fatigued
very
and I'm
centered, right? Our
libtard
Congress is
fatigued.
very much in the political
They're-
center. So to say that they're these radical figures, I think it's strikingly ironic. And
Well,
I
no,
think it's
they're
untrue.
polarized, right? They vote on party line almost all the time, even when it doesn't make sense. And if you don't, Trump gets you removed from office like Massey. So that's polarization, right? So they're going to vote for the agenda of the right or the agenda of the left. And I think that the easiest way to explain it is the amendments are the easiest way to approach this in understanding the Constitution being largely, in my view, non-existent is the suppression of speech that we saw from
People
Democratic
fucking
Party
hate
administration officials.
the
So that violates the
Constitution,
First
and
Amendment.
they
You have
hate
to
the
admit,
people
though,
that
like,
wrote
the
it.
First Amendment doesn't mean that you can say whatever you want. Like
It certainly means you can express political opinions,
but it has
which they targeted.
It has continually, like our judges in our Supreme Court has continually ruled that there are limitations on free speech.
I agree, there are.
I can't scream that there's a fire in a movie.
Yes,
theater,
you can.
right?
My God.
Brandenburg v. Ohio, you're wrong.
Oh my fucking God. It's always that one. These people are fucking literal clone copies, carbon copies of each other, man.
Like
Not
like
an
there
original
needs to be
thought
a
in their
threat
head.
of imminent
Precedent
danger.
already
Like,
said
that
you
doesn't
can't scream
really.
fire in a crowd.
There has to be a threat.
Always the fire in the
Yes.
fucking
Vote it up
movie
by
theater
majority.
one.
Nice meeting you.
If you'd like to be the next debater, please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. Shake your hand again.
All right. You're telling me that the Constitution effectively doesn't exist, right?
Yes,
Not that it's
effectively.
necessarily like low quality, but that it like effectively just does not exist at all.
Well, let's not be super extreme. What I mean is, there's
You can
obviously a
tell this guy
document, we know
became
what
a
it is. We
libtard
use it
because he
for
wanted to
certain
try
guiding
to get some
principles as to
pussy.
the power that our
Sad.
parties want.
My specific argument here is that the
Sad.
Constitution, whether or not it's being handled in like exactly the right way, it does exist. It's
We agree.
an important matter. Then great. The thing is, I don't know what your personal views
Effectively.
is.
You can
My
tell it
job
hasn't
here is
worked.
just to dispute your claim. The claim is that it effectively does not exist. My argument is, insofar as we're all talking about the
That's I
Constitution,
shouldn't make
Is,
fun
we
of
have
him
a court flawed
for that.
or
I
not,
shouldn't.
Fourth Amendment
That's
being
not,
upheld.
that reviews
that's not
the Constitution.
good.
Is the Fourth Amendment being upheld?
I'm not a constitutional scholar.
I shouldn't
I don't
hold
know,
that
but there's
against
active debate
people.
about
It's a
it.
good thing,
The answer
actually.
is the answer is that it's
Not what he's
And
doing
we've had
is a good
serious issues
thing,
with
but
flock
it's a
cameras,
good
for
thing that he
instance.
hasn't.
One video I just watched where a guy got pulled over wrongly and arrested because a flock camera flagged his car down. Now, when the police show up at your house and accuse you of a crime with fake evidence and you get arrested, that is a violation of your rights. Now, certainly we can argue that because of the Fourth Amendment, you can go and dispute it in court, but you could dispute it in court with or
Tim,
without the
I'm
Fourth Amendment.
absolutely against those like flock cameras, but again, that's not the point of this topic. When we're
Right.
talking about does the Constitution exist, insofar as there's
Well, let's
still
not
a court review system.
Let's not argue semantics. Sometimes there's not. A good example is the case of Andrew Arnheimer, where he was arrested in Georgia and brought to New Jersey in violation of his constitutional rights and put in prison because of this, which ultimately resulted in him getting out. So I understand there is a constitution. I know there's a physical piece of paper, and I know that it does work. But I'm saying effectively, because what I'm saying is it has become so disputed and so ignored in most capacities that we may as like people are not abiding by it. The Democrats don't believe Republicans are. Republicans don't believe Democrats are. That's my point. That it is
Okay,
an
we're gonna pause
ineffective.
here. Thank you. You've been voted out by the majority. Head to
Well,
your
good talking to
chair.
you again.
Man, they are really flying through them right now.
All right, if
Keep
you'd like to be
kicking
the next
everybody to the
debater,
curb.
please head to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, does the fat guy get it? Oh, here he goes.
How's it going? Nice to meet you.
This is the guy that broke my encoder. This is the guy that was so heavy he broke my encoder and lowered my resolution to fucking 340p.
What is the point of telling a bunch of different progressives that
My GPU was
a bunch of
crushed
things that we all agree
under
with?
his weight.
I don't know. You tell
My,
me.
my
What is
bandwidth
the
could
point
not
of that?
handle his
You're
size.
sitting within this pocket of safe moderation, right?
Yep.
You are a former Bernie bro, right?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, I agree with you. I was
Dude,
there
he's
when
out
the
of breath.
bird landed on the podium in Portland.
My boy's already out of breath. He walked 5
I
feet.
was fucking
was
there,
amazing,
man.
huh?
I completely agree. And we both probably got disenfranchised by our party, right?
I didn't vote for anybody.
Dude, he
in
almost
2016.
looks like. Dude, he's so comically fat. It looks like he's wearing a fat suit. Like he doesn't even have like the. His like body doesn't even look natural. It looks like he's wearing a fat suit.
Sure, hell yeah, you did your part then. Right? So my question is, what is the point of arguing this with a bunch of people who agree with you? Shouldn't you be surrounded by a bunch of people that you so-called condemn?
I guess it's a production question. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't want you to say. I have claims, and if we agree, I guess we can all smile and shake hands.
But like, this is a direct question to you. Like, why sit in this pocket of moderation if you so clearly condemn everything that's going on the right? A group that is so clearly eroding the Constitution. Why are you sitting here arguing with people that agree with you?
Is your argument that I should be a progressive or a liberal because I don't like what's happening to the Constitution?
No, I think you should be a little bit louder about the things that you actually believe instead of this like safe beanie-wearing moderate.
Well, what does that mean?
Well, I condemn everything that the right has done.
I didn't say I condemn everything the right has done.
Okay.
Let's put it like this. When I look at the option in 2020 between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, I was actually supporting Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang. And the Democratic Party does what the Democratic Party
Yang
does.
gang.
So I said, okay,
Hey,
well, who's
Yang
the guy
gang,
who's
shout
gonna
out.
have my back more than them? These people I view as authoritarian,
UBI.
bad for a bunch of different reasons.
I wanted my neat bucks, Yang. Give me my neat bucks, Yang.
And Trump's first term
Fuck,
was a
dude, I forgot
nightmare
about
what
that.
they were doing.
Right.
And Donald Trump put
Dude,
out a
Yang
second-term
gang.
agenda, and
Oh,
I said,
I
you
gotta
know what,
look
there's a
at
bunch
Yang
of these
gang
things I
memes now.
agree with, and the Democratic Party I find to be, it is untenable what they have done.
Tim, like, you are a smart guy. I'm not going to sit here and call you dumb and shake my head at you. You're a smart guy. How were you so easily conned?
In what way?
No, I want the
Saying
Pepes.
that,
Give me the
like, well, no,
Pepes.
he's going to do what he says he's going to do.
What do you mean?
Yeah, this is me, dude. Yeah. Hell yeah. Give me my neat bucks, Yang. Give me my neat bucks right now. Hell yeah. I fucking totally forgot about this. I'm gonna order my Dominoes with my neat bucks. Oh wow, they have an actual fucking one of the general, the general thread. Fucking, that's crazy. My comfy neat bucks.
Like, give me specifics.
Okay.
Like, I appreciate the line of thought,
Yeah,
but you
no,
gotta be specific.
Give me a specific about something that you voted for.
Oh
Donald
hell
Trump
yeah!
to do.
No, it's not sensitive content at
How
all.
did
This
that
is
work
not
out?
sensitive content at all.
Fantastic for me.
Hold on,
Yeah,
hold
we're all rich.
Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Hold the fuck. Know your meme. Oh wait, I had it on screen. There we go. Yeah. Oh, dude, I miss the energy. I miss like the fucking how funny 4chan used to be. Whole used to be so much fucking fun. Not anymore though. Not anymore though. Now it's just fucking completely subverted. $1,000. You get your bucks here.
Rich, right? We're all cruising. That's working out for us.
Well,
You're doing well?
I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding among people who don't do manufacturing or run businesses on the
Right.
issue of tariffs. So for me, the issue of trade control was extremely important, and we don't see that from the Democratic Party, so I voted for that. Trump did it, and I fully acknowledge that there's negative repercussions, but it's called spending money to fix problems
But
down the road.
why are you willing to erode the Constitution, something that you so vehemently fought
No,
for?
I think Democrats erode the Constitution substantially more.
How?
So we can talk about the First Amendment. We can talk about the Biden administration going in and get people banned. That's the easiest one.
Right, yeah.
We can talk about the Fourth Amendment.
I remember that nasty Democrat, Brandon Carr, who took down Jimmy Kimmel, the stand-up comedian that
What
I
did Carr
also
say?
am.
What did Carr say?
He made a call directly to NBC. Why should unilateral government power be used like that? And why are you just saying, I condemn that, but you're actively doing nothing to fight it.
No. I think the issue largely is regulatory bodies exist. I agree with the existence of regulatory bodies. Sometimes they do things you don't like.
We're gonna
You
end
didn't
it-
like
we're
it
gonna
here,
end
but I'm
the
sure you
stream
like
after
regulatory
Fat
bodies
Man.
elsewhere. So I'm not going to come out and pretend to be angry about something that is complicated or litigation we don't understand because it's tribal points for me. I'm going to say, what did Brendan Carr actually say? What did he actually say when he called NBC?
You need to take Jimmy Kimmel down.
He did not say that.
Then what did he say?
I don't know, and that's why I don't have a strong opinion about the issue right now.
Right. So
you
so-
can't tell me
gonna
what he
pause
said. You
here.
can't pretend to be angry.
We're gonna pause here. Thank you so much. You've been voted out by the majority.
Boisterous.
All right.
I appreciate it. Nice meeting you.
We definitely have already hit the peak of this fucking video. Jubilee, I fucking hate you. I hate you, and I hope you have a totally nice day. I hope you just have the nicest day ever. All right, let's take this down, and then we can take our transformative images off screen. God, I hope that was enough to make it so that they're not gonna fuck with me. Oh well, every stream I do gets fucking copyright hits, so it's whatever. Things they happen. I'm raped. I've been raped. Yeah. Been raped with terrible ass fucking videos. Jubilee. E without Ju. Anything we want to talk about before I go? What's on your mind? What's on your mind, my boys? Little chuddies. What's going on, fellow chud? Nothing, huh? Well, all right then. Watch bird dancing breast fest. What is that? I don't even know what that is. Am I going to stream the next Gypsy Crusader fight? Oh yeah, I forgot he's getting into another fight. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I'll have to look into it and see when it is. But sure. I like Gypsy. Show him a little support. Show him a little support. You need to know how bad it is to mod Fallout New Vegas. What do you mean how bad? Like how hard it is? It's not very hard at all. If you get like the fucking Vortex app, yeah, it's not bad. Like Nexus Mods is fucking retarded. Don't get me wrong, but that app is fucking handy. It's definitely pretty simple to do. I wish Steam would just enable the workshop for it. Though. Steam's got to work on the workshop for sure. I know that it still is kind of limited on like the file sizes, and a lot of mods can't be on the workshop because they're too big. We need the workshop to work better. The workshop's got to work like a well-oiled machine. You don't need to give money to Vortex. It's free. What are you talking about? You only need to pay if you want the fast downloads, which you fucking do not need. Get Sven Stoffels to come on for the fight, too. I still have... I probably still have him. See why I wouldn't. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see when we get closer, because I might I might just have my buddies come watch it because they're probably gonna want to watch it too. Get old Sterling to come on for the fight. That could be good. Yeah, like I said, we'll see. We'll see if I bring on content creators or if I just hang out with my buds. Stuff shitlib babble. Yeah, incomprehensible shitlib babble. Gonna get breezy on? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if they want to watch. If wants to watch it and who doesn't. Get Pipkin Pippa to come on for the panel for the fight too. Oh, good idea, dude. None of your Oshis would touch me with a 10-foot pole, bro. At least not publicly. I'm what you call a brand risk. What you call like, you know, I'm too dangerous. I'm too dangerous for their people. They would not fucking call you are delusional, dude. You're delusional. I am a 6,000 sub channel. Delusional. What is an Oshi? An Oshi is what VTuber fans call their streamers. You want me to talk? If you want me to talk to Powder Winston, you're gonna have to facilitate that because these people will not talk to me. I guarantee it. So, Miku collabed with you. Nikasu Miku collabed with me when he had what 20 viewers, and the majority of the people that were viewing him like didn't like him. They were A-logs, right? Like he wasn't that big of a channel. Did he blow up and I didn't know about it? He did. Good for him. Explain this. The same people who like VTubers call women streamers thoughts, but are fine if the same don an anime 3D avatar. I cannot explain it. I cannot explain it. I don't know. I do not watch any. There is no female content creators that I watch. Powder is also a chud tuber. She and Leaflet 100%. Fucking really doubt it, dude. Good luck. That's on you. If you want that to happen, you're gonna have to make it happen. And I'm not going to be nice. You can't make me be nice to them. You do not call women streamers thoughts. You call them e-girls, though. Winston, you called me an e-boy. Call like everyone online an e-girl or an e. You don't. I don't think you even see it as an insult. So like, what is the though about? It's you don't. It's a thought is very obviously an insult. You don't see you. You're equating like what you would call somebody that you like. It's you don't even view it as an insult. So, but a thought is very obviously an insult. That's all we. If that's all there is, then stream. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.